They're finding it a little bit. The homestand's going well so far, and another opportunity today against Harwich.
Yeah, let's talk about Harwich tonight. You know, they're a team that's kind of in the middle of the pack. They're a team that's known well for their pitching and not known well for their hitting, but Joey Weimer Jr. is the guy on their offense. What do we know more about him?
Yeah, he's very impressive. He leads the Mariners in hitting at 306. He's a very impressive, powerful bat. I remember watching him take batting practice the last 2 times that these teams have matched up, and the ball just jumps off his bat. He's got a great stroke. He's very speedy.
Not to mention the beautiful hair flow he has.
He does have some very good flow. I got to give credit to anybody who can pull off great flow like that. It looks good on him when he's playing in the baseball field. But yeah, impressive hitter, very powerful bat, good speed. Definitely a player that the Firebirds are going to want to look out for today as Jake Eater makes his first start for the Firebirds. The Vanderbilt kid who got a national champ on the roster, Scotty.
Broadcaster Josh White is going to come on at the end of the show to break down that and to break down this Firebirds offense that's warming up right now behind us. But coming up next, Jacob Hurtubise is joining the show. Hey, welcome back here into the Bird's Eye View pregame show. Scotty Gange alongside Firebird Jacob Hurtubise. I know you used to be a Harwich Mariner. I'll ask you just shortly and sweetly, does that change the way you approach the game today?
No, I'm super excited for the game today.
Good.
A lot of those guys I grew pretty close with the 2 weeks that I was there, so I'm super excited to see them again and compete against them. Hopefully get a dub tonight.
It's a different sense of competition. I know it's kind of like when you play your college teammate in a game, but these guys were all your teammates just a few short weeks ago.
Yeah, I'm super excited. Super excited to play these guys. I'm looking forward to seeing how they do against me and how I do against them. So. Really
I know the Firebirds are excited to have you in Orleans now. How's your time with Orleans been?
It's been awesome. They've welcomed me with open arms, which is what I really needed. I wasn't getting a whole lot of playing time over at Harwich just because of numbers. They had 7 outfielders, so I was playing like every other game, and now I'm being able to contribute a lot more over here. So I'm super excited to just be in the lineup and kind of helping the team win a little bit.
So the cool thing with you, I think that's the story for Jacob Hurtubise in the summer, is the fact that you were a Harwich Mariner, and now here you are thriving as an Orleans Firebird. But I want to talk about the fall, the winter, the spring, the story of you, because you're not only a student athlete, you are a student cadet athlete, if that's right, out of Army West Point.
Yeah, Army, the life is tough out there. Day in and day out, we're kind of continually grinding.
Yeah.
So being able to come out here in the Cape and kind of just enjoy summer of baseball, meeting new people, that it's been an awesome experience so
I was
far.
going to say, how is that? You know, instead of being 5 to 6, 6 to 7, something different every single day for every hour of the day, you just get to relax, play baseball, and hang out in the Cape.
Yeah, I kind of get to choose what I do in my
That's
morning.
a first for you.
Yeah, in my morning. So it's really awesome getting to wake up when I want. That's been really awesome.
What time are you sleeping until now?
I'm kind of
7?
I'm kind of an early bird, so
Yeah.
8:30. So I'm not the normal college student I'd say who goes at or wakes up at like 10:30.
I would think you've almost been bred for that now, and just your years at Army, waking
yeah.
up at 5 and working from 5:30 to 6:30 or anything like that.
Yeah, it's definitely been a nice transition, and it'll be a rough transition when I have to go back to school in August.
So how is that for you? I watched your day in the life video, like I just told you, and you said I wake up at 5:55. I've got cleaning in the morning, platoon cleaning, and then you've got formation, and then class, and then breakfast, and then another class, and then lunch, and then dean's hour, and then class, and I'm running out of breath just talking about it. And then you play baseball for like 4 hours at the end of the day. How is that for you?
Like I said earlier, it's a grind every single day. You kind of fall into a rhythm though, which is really nice, and it's kind of something that I enjoy having. That kind of everyday cycle that we go through. We wake up, we go to breakfast, we do this. It kind of drags on. It makes the days super long, but it's very rewarding, and I've seen dividends of that just in my life.
What especially in terms of that, specifically dividends?
I would say just like a lot of patience, being able to do things diligently, just daily tasks, talking to people. The Army is known to be a people business, so just all the interactions that I've been able to have with different officers, different peers. So I think that's just going to help me thrive later in the future.
You talk about later in the future, but I'm wondering in the past, were you a kid that grew up and always wanted to be at Army West Point and always had that dream and inspiration, or was it something that kind of came your senior year of high school?
Yeah, it kind of came my senior year of high school. I actually didn't even know what Army West Point was until I started getting recruited for baseball there. So kind of a crazy story. Growing up, nobody in my family in the military, and then here I am at Army West Point going into my senior year.
That's amazing. You're first generation.
First generation, almost done.
Well, congratulations to you. I'm wondering, once you're done with school and baseball here too, you're without a doubt one of the best players in the country if you're here on the Cape. How do you balance that, a future in baseball and also in the Army?
Yeah, it's definitely a very difficult process to have to go through, a lot of difficult decisions that have to be made. I'm not going to dive too deep into it because I don't even know myself what's going to happen with the military, with baseball. So I'm just going to go out, play my hardest every single day, and hope it all pays off in the future.
I saw there was once where it was a kid from Navy. He said that he had 2 plan A's. He has an inspirational, amazing career headed in the Navy, and then also one in baseball. Knowing that in your heart, how does that make you feel?
It's tough because baseball, like growing up, like I said, baseball is the dream.
Yeah.
And then Army, like being able to serve the country is something that's kind of grown fond on me. Being able to have that selfless service, that passion to just serve others. So either way I go, it's going to be great. It's going to be a great opportunity. So I'm really looking forward to the future.
I couldn't let you go. My grandpa would never forgive me if I didn't give a proper salute to you. You got to tell me the exact way to do it.
So the thumb is on the index finger.
Okay.
And then it just goes straight up to the bill of the hat.
Well, I'm not wearing a hat.
So then it's your eyebrow.
To my eyebrow, just like this.
And cant it inwards a little bit.
Like that?
The other way.
Like this.
Yep.
Jacob Hurtubise, thank you so much for the time. I really appreciate you, and thank you in the future for serving our country already now and then in the future as well.
Of course.
Yeah,
My
thanks
pleasure.
for the time. Yes, sir.
Hi, my name is Zach Kokoska. I'm an outfielder, and a fun fact about me is I grew up in the same town as Arnold Palmer.
Catcher for the Orleans Firebirds. Fun fact about me is I can finish a double cheeseburger in less than 30 seconds.
Welcome back into the Bird's Eye View pregame show. Again, Jacob Hurtubise was really, really cool. Josh White and I, we're going to talk, kind of go more in depth into that later, but right now we've got Thomas Cinzarella. And Thomas, you kind of saw it last night. I know we both did. The energy at Eldridge last night was really, really cool.
Yeah, it felt like, we're at Chatham on July 3rd, and you can tell the fans are really into it, and that's what kind of felt here like at Eldridge.
Yeah.
Ball hitting out in the gap, hear the gasp, and then all of a sudden, Tirani or Hurtubise will chase down a ball on left center, and then the fans, they're in relief, and then they start clapping. So you could feel that yesterday, the energy, they're trying to feed, the players trying to feed off that energy as well, because it really helps, It's almost like a basketball arena out here, where it's just a whole swing of a momentum swing and everything, and it was really cool to be around.
It was cool, and I kind of bring you on to talk about this because you've got the history with Eldridge Park. Growing up, you were one of the young kids in the stands fighting for a foul ball. You're one of the younger kids being a game day operations intern, being the broadcaster today. That's really cool. How is that for you?
Well, if you ask, me growing up, would I be a broadcaster here at Eldridge? I said, what are you talking about? I had no idea that would land. I wasn't I wasn't one of those people who was like, from middle school, I want to be a broadcaster and stuff like that. I actually want to go into baseball operations and, grow up here in the Cape. I never thought I would go into sports, until high school came around and college searches. And I'm like, well, what do you want to do with your life? Well, maybe baseball or sports sounds fun. So just going back to, Eldridge, it's one of the gems. Really nothing can beat it. And just growing up here has been a blessing. And, you can meet so many cool people out here in the crowd. Everybody out here has a story, which I think is really, really interesting. I've met, from being a game day intern, you get to talk with a lot of just different types of fans coming in. People have come across the country, people that come here at every game. People that I work at the golf course with come here, and, they always ask every day coming to work, how the Birds doing. They want to know about the Birds. People really care about their baseball. Just a quick story, one time, I was up there taking admissions, and a guy who came from Hawaii was here, and he knew Colton Wong when he played here because Colton Wong from the University of Hawaii.
Yeah.
And so he said something, I believe in a Hawaiian tongue or something. Colton understood it when he was taking IO. And so just cool little connections like that where, it's just unbelievable.
Really
Stories
is.
like that, yeah.
We're on the hill today. It's a special atmosphere, as always. Last night was fantastic, and I know every year at Eldridge it just seems to get better. I can say that. Being my first year, it seems absolutely fantastic. We're gonna jump into what we're gonna see tonight when broadcaster Josh White comes on. But Thomas, thanks for the time. And I know it's really, really cool for you, man.
It's good to be on the hill out here.
Oh,
Anytime.
It's good to be on the hill. It always is.
Fill the hill.
My name is Max Troiani. I play in the outfield. You're watching the Birds Broadcast Network.
My name is Zach Daniels. I play outfield, and a fun fact about me is I like Legos.
Hey, really do appreciate Jacob Hurtubise coming on the show. I know you kind of got to catch that last piece.
Oh, yeah, that was awesome.
That was
cool.
awesome.
Yeah. He's a cadet, is what we
Yes,
found out, is
yes.
the official term. But he's a good baseball player, too.
Yeah.
Not just a good human being, but a good baseball player as well.
He's a cadet a student, an athlete, and a star. Really, really cool to have him on there. But now we've got Josh White, and it's also very cool to have. It's much cooler to have him.
Yeah,
but it's very cool to
I
have
agree.
you. Yeah.
I gave you this cheesy line that I'm not just good looking when I solve the problem. So, but Jacob Hurtubise has everything covered. He's athletic too.
Yeah, he really is. 4 stolen bases last night. He was fantastic. The offense last night was really special for Orleans. 6 runs, and it was the first time in a long time that you really got to see it click in a win for them. Tonight, Josh, what are we expecting to see?
Honestly, I'm expecting the opposite. Now, it's kind of funny. You wonder why that you'd go from scoring 6 runs to maybe just a few the next night. It's because Harwich is a great pitching staff. They're the best pitching staff in the Cape Cod Baseball League. The Birds are 3rd. So now you would think, and they've already faced off twice this summer, that the best pitching staff in the league and the 3rd best pitching staff. Now it was reversed the last time, funny enough. Orleans was the best at the time, and Harwich was 3. You would think it would lend itself to some pitching games.
Yeah.
No, it lends itself to a couple of offensive games. Here's the stat of the day for you.
Josh's stat of the day.
Simple. It's a simple one. 14 combined runs in 2 games. The last 2 games, Firebirds and Mariners played 14 combined runs. I think we'll see less than that today.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Pitching-wise for Orleans, I know last night, Adam Seminaris, he pitched a solid 3 innings. Isaac Cascada stole the show, stole the last week for Firebirds baseball. But what about tonight?
Tonight, it's another lefty. So Orleans very successful with left-handers last night on the mound. Jake Eater gets the ball tonight. His first start in the Cape was a reliever a couple nights ago for the Birds through a scoreless frame in his first start for the Firebirds. But I'm excited to see this. He finished this season at Vanderbilt. He was the one that had the ball in his hands to finish off the national championships. That's a pretty cool accolade for him, that he was the last guy to have the ball in his hands.
It's a small fraternity.
Oh, it's a very, very small fraternity. But again, another fastball guy who's going to locate his pitches in and out. He's going to use that changeup and curveball as well. And I wouldn't be surprised if this is maybe not a 6-inning out.
For the 3rd time in this 2019 season, the Harwich Mariners pay a visit, about 20-minute drive down Route 28 here to Eldridge Park as the Firebirds set to host their East Division foe again, the Harwich Mariners. Welcome inside the broadcast booth. Thomason's Village alongside Josh White. It's a big matchup here at Eldridge just because the Mariners have shown some life as of late. After being in 5th place in East Division for most of this season, they have found their way into 4th and just 2 points behind the Firebirds for 3rd place. But the Firebirds yesterday able to end that 6-game losing skid and defeat the Whitecaps by a score of 6-3. Josh, what changed in yesterday's ball game for the Firebirds to come out on top this time?
I think it all started on the mound, Thomas, for Orleans yesterday. Adam Seminaris kept the Birds in the ball game, did give up 3 runs, but that was all in the 1st inning. Then he was able to get back in there, calm down, settled the nerves, and then Isaac Cascada out of the bullpen. He's the best I think any Firebirds pitcher has been all summer. A season-long 6 innings, struck out 8, only surrendered 3 hits, walked nobody. And anytime you get a performance like that, that's going to put you in the right direction, and the offense came alive.
Yeah, Cal Nicholson saying that he stuck with them because how can you take a guy like Isaac Cascada out after yesterday's ball game? The Firebirds will turn to Jake Eater, the southpaw from Vanderbilt, making his first start here on Cape Cod, his 2nd appearance. Pitched back on July 6th against YD, won an inning, allowed 1 hit, a walk, but struck out 2 YD Red Sox hitters as the Firebirds look to take the 3rd game here against the Mariners. They already defeated them twice, a home-and-home series back on June 29th and June 30th. Saw the Firebirds put up 13 hits and a win against the Mariners 7-2 here at Eldridge Park. Joe Eamer will step in from the right side. First pitch fastball at the knees for strike 1. And we're underway from Eldridge Park at 6:58 p.m. A little of a steamy day here on Cape Cod. Eater from the windup, the 0-1 to Weimer. Fastball misses low and outside, kind of ball and a strike on the DH from Cincinnati.
You say a little steamy. I spoke to Sue Horton before the game. She said peachy.
Peachy, steamy. We're going with all the words here at Eldridge Park. What's your take on it?
It's nice. I like it.
1-1 from Eater. Fastball check swing. Misses upstairs for ball 2. Count 2 balls and a strike on Weimer. Get the nice ocean breeze for most of the time, but today just not as much wind as it has been the last week or so. 2-1 from the southpaw. 2-seam fastball outside black. Count 2 balls and 2 strikes. The Whitecaps yesterday against the Firebirds put up a 2 spot in the 1st inning before the Firebirds would score the next 4. The Firebirds would win that game 6-3.
2-2 pitch to Weimer is pulled down the left field line, curving, and it'll go foul. Had a lot of distance on that one, but Weimer just pulls it to 10.
Yeah, that was absolutely crushed by Weimer out in front. A big kid, 6'4" from Cincinnati. He has really got things going on the Cape, especially as of late.
2 balls and 2 strikes to count here in the top of the first inning. Nobody on, nobody out. Eater from the lineup. 2-2 pitch, just check swing towards the Orleans dugout on the first base side as Weimer will take a walk around the home plate area. Weimer hitting .306 so far this year for the Mariners. Eater working from the first base side of the rubber. The 2-2 curveball, strike 3 call. Weimer checks swing, but it's in there anyway. Eater, able to punch out Weimer to start things off here in the top of the first.
And Jake Eater in his first appearance for the Birds 3 nights ago in relief. The fastball was sitting 91-93. Changeup and curveball low 80s. And for Orleans, looks like he's got the similar stuff tonight.
Lefty-lefty matchup as Cabrera sends one slow chopper over towards the shortstop where he comes around the ball, throws across his body. Routine play to the shortstop. Tanner Murray today being moved over from third. Eddie McCabe over at third base today, so it's a good time to look at the defensive side of things for the Firebirds. From left to right in the outfield, Max Trani. Jacob Hurtubise is out in center field. Zach Daniels gets the start in right. McCabe, as I mentioned, over at third base tonight. Murray at shortstop. Josh Zamora over at second. Esqueda over at first. And David Avidia doing the catching tonight for Jake Eater. So Christian Fetkill, the second baseman. From the right side, face the left-hander Jake Eater. First pitch fastball misses around the ankles for ball 1. Fetko so far, these 1-2-3 hitters are very dangerous for the Mariners. Although the team average is only .225, last in the CCCBL. Their first 3 guys all hitting over 300. 1-0 is spiked into the dirt. Count 2 balls and no strikes. Mariners going with their stirrups tonight, with the road navy blue and the Harwich in the red. As Eater steps off the rim for the back end. Takes off his left mitt. Puts the tan mitt back on. 2-0 from Eater. Fastball misses low and in. Count heads to 3-0. Now both times these East Division teams have faced each other, it was a 2-hour game and a 2-hour and 18-minute game. And there were some runs, but for the beginning of both games, it was a pitcher's duel. 3-0 from Eater. Fastball misses low and in. Ball 4. So Fetko able to work a 2-out walk here in the top of the first today. The Mariners have their first base runner aboard here in the top of the first as they try to break open this game. And now it's the ever-dangerous Nico Cavadas. Provided pretty much all the offense yesterday in the Mariners' victory over Chatham. They had a 2-run blast after Fetko got on. Cavadas with an 11-game hit streak for the Mariners. Lefty-lefty matchup, first pitch curveball. Just misses low and out for ball 1.
And Cavada's starting to heat up, shy of the 11-game hit streak. He's batting .325 over that stretch, but 3 of his home runs this summer have come in the last 4 games.
Some Austin Langworthy numbers there as Eater throws over to first to check on Fetko. He dives back and safely head first.
He's driven in 9 runs in the last 4 games.
Just some video game numbers there for Nico Cavadas. 1 out. Fastball is laced out towards right field. Coming in as Zach Daniels dives out and makes the catch in right field. So Zach Daniels takes the ball away from Nico Cavadas to end the first inning. Mariners no runs on no hits, no errors. 1 man left on base. We're through half an inning here at Eldridge Park. It's still a scoreless ball game between the Harwich Mariners and the Orleans Firebirds. Listen to Firebirds baseball on the Birds Broadcast Network. Home half of the first inning here from Eldridge Park as the Firebirds will get their first tax in this ball game. As you'll see the lineup graphic on your screen, a couple guys to point out for Jacob Hurtubise back in the leadoff spot. Collected a hit yesterday, but had 4 stolen bases against the Whitecaps. Josh Samore moves up to the number 2 spot. And David Avidia back behind the dish for the Firebirds. He'll be batting 8th tonight for the Firebirds. Tanner Murray playing shortstop tonight, as I mentioned. Collected 2 hits yesterday in the win against the Whitecaps. A single, an RBI single in the first, which will lead to 2 runs, and then a double in the third. So Nick Zwack, the southpaw for the Mariners, on the bump. 6'3", 210 from Xavier University, making his second start here on the Cape, 4th appearance, 0-2 with a 4.15 ERA and an 8 2/3, has struck out 9, but has walked 3. First pitch to left-hander Hurtubise. Fastball at the belt for strike 1. Again, here in the bottom of the first inning, scoreless ball game from Eldridge Park. 0-1 from Zwack. Off-speed pitch just fouled back to the screen just in front of us here behind the dish.
Why do I have a feeling this game means a little more to Jacob Hurtubise? He wants to get on. Is the last time these two teams played, he was on the other side of this battle.
He was in the starting lineup for the Mariners. 0-2 to Hurtubise. Off-speed just reach for and push foul down the third base side. Count remains 0-2.
He was giving his best regards and wishes before the game, chatting with a couple of the Mariners on the third base side.
And Rob Emery as well during I.O. today. Steve Englert, of course, Emery had 1 AB, played a couple games for the Mariners last year. 0-2 pitch, curveball once again spoiled off and fouled down the third base side over Route 28. Count 0-2.
So the list is 3 for the Firebirds club that formerly played for the Mariners. Raymond Gill, Rob Emery, and Jacob Hurtubise.
We'll have to think of a nickname for them then. The pipeline from Harwich to Orleans continues. 0-2 to Hurtubise. Fastball upstairs. Ball and 2 strikes now on Hurtubise.
Now the interesting thing to see is Hurtubise is the only one of those 3 starting tonight. If one of those guys comes off the bench, will they chip in a home run or something like that? We've seen it earlier this season for both of those guys.
Yeah, Greg Gill has had very good outings against Harwich as the 1-2 off-speed runs low and outside. Count 2 balls and 2 strikes. Gill has 2 hits against the Mariners. One's a double and one's a home run, and both of them drove in runs. Zwack takes a deep breath, working from the third base side of the rubber. The 2-2 to Hurtubise. Fastball once again is lifted high in the air down the left field line, but out of play. Once again, bouncing off Route 28 towards the house on the corner over by the police station.
It's now the 4th foul ball of this count, and Hurtubise doing exactly his job as the leadoff man. The 8th pitch upcoming of the AB.
Zwack kicks and deals. The 2-2 pitch, reach for, bounce right back to Zwack. Runs over, underhand toss with the left hand over to first base in time, and Hurtubise is retired for the first out. So 1 down here in the home half of the first, still a scoreless ball game. Just finishing off with Hurtubise. You know, the post-game show yesterday, I asked him how many stolen bases. Was that the most he ever stole in a game? And he said he stole 6 stolen bases against Bucknell his sophomore year back at Army. That's just absurd. First pitch of Josh Samora runs inside for ball 1. Once again, back over at second base for Kel Nicholson. Has moved up to the 2 hole here. 1-0 from Zwack. Fastball runs low and inside. 2-0. Zamora with the high Red Sox here from the right side. Open stance. Zwack kicks and fires. 2-0. Fastball misses up and out. 3-0. So Zwack falling behind here on Zamora. Comes set from the lineup. 3-0 pitch. Fastball right down to Main Street for strike 1. Zamora 0 for 4 yesterday in the win against Brewster. 3-1 to pitch is laced down the left field line. It's going to drop for a base hit. Zamora rounding around first, heading for second base as the ball drops towards the corner. Throw is in time. And Zamora is thrown out, trying to stretch a single into the double. And Chris Galland, the Boston College Eagle in left field, hoses down Zamora at second base.
Very impressive throw for Gallen, but the reason why he's able to get there is his speed. Raced over to the ball, down the left field line, gulfed it out, and just threw a money shot right to second base, and Zamora was a dead duck.
Galland, a natural center fielder. First pitch off speed, a wave and a miss. First strike, one to Max Troiani, the left fielder tonight. Galland again played for Harwich last year. As the 0-1. Fastball just misses the kneecaps. Got a ball and a strike. So we'll take a look at the Mariners defense. Galland out on the left. Marusek out in center. Cabrera out in right. As a 1-1 pitch. Reach for, swung on a miss for strike. Two kind of ball and 2 strikes. Nico Cavadas over at third base. Noisy at short. Fenneco at second. Lanzilli at first. And Michael Rothenberg doing the catching tonight for Nick Zwack. 1-2 pitch. Bouncer right back to Zwack. Loves it. Runs over to first base. Underhand toss to Lanzilli at first. And the side is retired. So the Firebirds, no runs on 1 hit, no errors, and nobody left on base. After 1, it's still a scoreless ball game between the Harwich Mariners and the Orleans Firebirds. As we get to send it over to our favorite friend on the sidelines, Scotty Gange.
What'd you call me, Thomas?
Our favorite friend on the sidelines.
Oh, yeah,
There's not much competition there. There is only one sideline guy. I'm just kidding.
No, Alec is a phenomenal human being.
Oh, he is,
always.
absolutely.
A few talking points before we head into the remainder of this game. Just a few things I really noticed here before the game. And first one is Jake Eater. He's a guy that kind of is a reserved fella. I haven't gotten to talk to him much, but I did just kind of observe him get ready for the game today. Out on the picnic tables, out beyond the right field fence. The guy had his Beat headphones in. He was lying down. Looked like he was asleep, but I talked to trainer Alex Simone, and he just kind of said it's all about him visualizing. He's a big-time guy in visualizing, meditating before the game. He spent about 30 minutes or so of doing that, so it was kind of interesting for me to just watch him. It wasn't the most exciting thing to watch because he was just lying down, but you recognize it's kind of a new day, a new era in terms of stuff like this when guys are visualizing their success, and that's what he said he was trying to do exactly, whether he's visualizing striking a guy out tonight or visualizing just feeling good and feeling strong up on the mound. And a few other things. We had an exciting day at Nauset Grill today. We're going to talk about that a little later. And yesterday, an exciting day at the NAC. I'm going to talk about that a little later. So it's a really, really fun game. It's the WEEI game of the week as well. So it's really a special night. And if the Firebirds get a win tonight, Josh, I think you know what I'm going to say. The Birds will officially be hot if the Firebirds get a win tonight. So it's really exciting. The crowd is fantastic here today, and it's just a great day for the ball game.
I thought you were going to say 1 is a win and 2 is a streak, but I'll take that too.
Yeah, you tweeted that. That was a good tweet. One is a win, 2 is a streak, so we'll see if that happens tonight.
So Dylan Noyes, the shortstop, will bat from the right side against the southpaw. Jake Eater back on the hill for his second inning. First pitch, fastball at the belt for strike 1. And very interesting point brought up by Scotty Gange about Eater before the game visualizing. He's out there in the right center field, picnic tables next to the clubhouse. 0-1 from Eater. Fastball just misses the knees. Kind of ball and a strike. And back to my cross-country days in high school, my cross-country coach, we used to do that at the end of practice, day before a race. We used to lie down on the grass, shut our eyes for about 5 minutes, and just try to visualize a race. 1-1 bounces in, count 2 balls and a strike. Now, I don't know if it worked for me, but it somewhat did, but not really.
I'm going to keep my thoughts quiet for now.
Oh, you're going to keep your thoughts quiet. You can say it.
We've got a ball game to play.
2-1 from Eater, fouled off the mid of catcher David Avidia. Count 2 balls and 2 strikes. So Noisy staying alive here from the right side. Sophomore out of Texas Tech. Transferred from McLennan Community College. 2-2 from Eater. Off speed just misses the inside corner as Noisy backs off the right side. Count runs full at 3-2. Top of the second here from Eldridge Park. Still a scoreless ball game. Nobody down here in the second. 3-2. Fastball's fouled behind the press box. So we'll do it again at 3 balls and 2 strikes. Noisy so far. Just 2 for his first 22 here on Cape Cod. batting around middle of the order for the Mariners so far this season. 3-2. Fastball is corked out towards right center field. Hurtubise is on the run out in right center and chases it down on the run before he runs just in front of the wall by the 359 sign. One down here in the second.
He makes it look so easy. Gets a great read off the bat, but just tremendous speed from Hurtubise. Able to race that ball down, was shifted to left center, and ends up all the way near the 359 sign in right center and takes away an extra base hit.
You know, we know he has the speed, but able to read a ball right off the bat like that and chase it down. It's something fun to watch. First pitch to Mike Rothenberg. Wave and a miss for strike one. Rothenberg a switch hitter batting from the right side against the southpaw Jake Eater. Catcher out of Duke. 0-1 from Eater. Off-speed rollover, high chopper over towards the third baseman. McCabe backhands it, sets his feet, throws across the diamond in time. So McCabe getting his first start at third base this season. Makes an impressive backhand play down the third base line.
Yeah, that was smooth by McCabe. Good reaction on the chopper to the right side, but I think the best part about that play is he didn't rush the throw. He set his feet, knew he was running, knew he had a catcher going down the line, and made a sharp throw to first.
So we've seen Murray, Wickham, and we've seen a number of guys play over at third base now. It's the first pitch to Lanzilli. This is down in the zone for ball one. Lanzilli, a first baseman out of Wake Forest. Competed in the home run derby in Omaha. Has not found the power swing yet here on the Cape as the 1-0 fastball misses up and out of the zone. Count 2-0. And we've seen with some guys, it takes a little bit of a while with the wood to transition here on the Cape. Eater takes a deep breath from the windup. 2-out. Fastball is hammered down the left field line, but it will tail foul. 2 balls and a strike as we saw Weimer place one down there to start off this game. Again, here on the top of the second inning, scoreless ball game. 2 down, nobody on for the Mariners. Eater comes set, kicks and fires. 2-1 fastball just misses the outside edge. Count moves to 3 balls and a strike.
And I would think, again, Jacob Eater just threw the other day for the Birds. Pitched on July 6th against Yarmouth Dennis. I'd imagine we're looking at a 3 or 4 inning start. Nothing more than that for Eater.
3-1 pitch, misses low and inside, and Lanzilli works a 2-out walk. So this is also not only the second walk, but the second 2-out walk worked by the Mariners here in the early goings. Fenko walked in the first, but 2 down. So Chris Galland from the right side. Threw out Josh Zamora at second base after he chased down a ball in the left field corner. So Eater working from the stretch for the second time tonight. Looks over at first. First pitch to Gallant, fastball at the ankles. Misses for ball one. Gallant who hit .267 for the Eagles this past season. Hitting .222 so far here on the Cape. Gallant waves the bat back towards Eater. 1 out. Fastball down the middle at the knees for strike one. Count 1 ball and 1 strike. Hit .262 for the Mariners last year. Had a home run, and it was a big home run for Chris Gallant back on June 19th of last year as a walk-off home run against the Firebirds at White House Field. 1 run from Eater is a high fly ball out towards left center field. Trani ranging over to his left, gives way to Hurtubise in left center. Cam Sonert who makes the catch for out number 3. So Lanzilli is left over at first base after another 2-out walk. Mariners no runs on no hits, no errors. 1 man left on base after 1.5. It's the Mariners and the Firebirds knotted up at 0-0. As we'll take a look at some highlights from last night's win.
First pitch from Seminaris. Fastball, he swings this one into right field. Triani on the run. This one hops down. Digging around from third is Auerbach. The throw will go into second. Gentry hustles, slides head first. It's an RBI double for Tyler Gentry. The 0-1 from Seminaris. Fastball hit hard to the left side, right at the shortstop. Wickham, he's going to throw to third and gets the runner Gentry by a mile. Payoff pitch. Fastball lined over the head of the first baseman, Fago, down the right field line for a base hit. Hurtubise busting around from third. The throw will go into second. Sliding feet first with an RBI double is Zach Britton. 1-2 to Murray. Curveball smacked into center field for a base hit. Britton trots home from third. Getting the wave around is Escara. The throw to the plate. Offline. A 2 RBI single for Tanner Murray. 3-2 to Troiani. Fastball misses low. Gets past Auerbach. Hurtubise charging from third. He scores without a throw. And now a balk is called. Emmanuel's tried stepping off the rubber. Did not move the right foot before the left. First pitch. Beg your pardon, the 2-2 to Zach Britton. Skips past the catcher, Auerbach. And Hurtubise comes in to score.
The 0-2. Curveball cut on miss for strike 3.
The southpaw's ready to go. Here's the 1-2. Breaking ball, cut on and miss, strike 3. Isaac Esqueda, 8 Ks out of the bullpen, and a Firebirds season high.
Here at Eldridge. As Esqueda, the first baseman, will start things off for the Firebirds, followed by Eddie McCabe and Tanner Murray. The 3 Firebirds due up in this half inning. Esqueda open stats from the right side, fakes the left-hander and Nick Zwack. Southpaw kicks and deals as the first pitch is fouled over the hill on the first base side. Count 0-1. So Esquera started 2 for 4 in that first ball game against YD. Has gone 0 for his last 6, but can always find your swing here as the 0-1 pitch grounded over towards the third baseman. Cavadas sets his feet, throw over to first base, scooped up by Lanzilli at first, and Esquera is retired for the first out.
I think the most impressive thing about that play, Thomas, you have 2 guys out of position on the Cape. Cavadas, a DH, mainly at Notre Dame. Lanzilli, really a corner outfielder at Wake Forest. Cavadas made a strong throw over to first, was a little short, and Lanzilli scooped it out. Looking like he's played years over at first base.
Looking like a seasoned veteran. As with 1 out here in the bottom of the second, Eddie McCabe from the right side. First pitch cut on a miss for strike 1. McCabe also playing third base for the first time tonight. Last time we saw Cavadas, he was playing over at first. 0-1 pitch, McCabe a little squibbered towards the hole on the left side. Coming around as a shortstop, Noisy throws across the diamond. The tag is high, then the ball slips out, but they say he got him, I believe, at first. And Eddie McCabe, after Lanzilli had to come off the bag and tag Eddie McCabe. As now Canuckson comes out, because what I noticed as well is that the ball came out after he tagged McCabe.
I don't think he even tagged him, to be quite honest with you. And all I think Kelly Nicholson's going to ask is just to get another viewpoint from Mickey Garcia. That's a tough call from Mark Delaney at first. He's really hidden behind that because of Lanzilli's left arm coming to sweep the tag. So I think Kelly's just going to ask, hey, can you team up with Mickey Garcia, see if he saw anything else? But other than that, there's not much else you can do.
Yeah, we don't have instant replay out here, but
send it to Hyannis.
Send it to Hyannis. We're going to want that. So the umpires now get together on the first base side, all 3 of them again. Mickey Garcia, the home plate umpire, Mark Delaney, the first base, and Jason Klump, the third base.
Thomas, is it going to be tarps or replay that comes first in the Cape Cod Baseball League?
I would think I would bet tarps.
I think that's a safe bet, but I don't think we'll see either anytime soon.
I don't think so. So they're having a lengthy conversation over there, about 45 feet down the first base line. And they'll say he's out. So Kelly comes out, though, once again. So Kelly saying he wants an explanation because the ball came out of the mid after the tag. And doesn't get an explanation, so let's just say McCabe is retired. So an interesting play over there at first base.
I think that's reasonable to want an explanation.
I think so.
You can disagree with the call, but you should have the right to get an explanation, right? I think that's fair.
2 outs here in the bottom of the second. First pitch to Tanner Murray. Cut on the miss of the pitch out of the zone. 0-1. So Ken Elkison not happy on the first base dugout. For a right to be as well. Left-hander facing the right-hander, Murray. Murray loads one out towards right center field. Marusek going to be on the run. Hits off the base of the wall. Falls right to him, but standing up at second base is Tanner Murray, and it's a 2-out double here in the second inning. The Firebirds will have a runner in scoring position with 2 outs.
Murray is starting to come around. A double yesterday, drove in a pair of runs. 2 for 4. That average starting to climb above 230. This is a kid that sat below the Mendoza line for the first few weeks of the summer, and he's starting to figure things out here on the Cape.
And he's followed up by another guy, Shea Whitcomb, who's starting to swing a better bat at the plate. Home run 2 nights ago. Hits in 4 of his last 5 games in Shea Whitcomb. Open stance from the right side against the left-hander Zwack. First pitch to Whitcomb. Pitch misses down in the zone for ball 1, and now that Eddie McCabe shortstop kind of enlarges here in this second inning, because you have to think if he's over at first base, he maybe had a chance to score. If not, it's 1 out where there's on second and third.
Yeah, that probably scores a run just based on the distance that ball had.
1 out. Off speed out in front of it was Whitcomb, kind of balling a strike. So Whitcomb trying to drive in Murray over at second base with 2 outs here in the bottom of the second inning. Whitcomb so far 7 runs driven in for the Firebirds. He's had 2 solo blasts, as I mentioned. 1-1. Fastball is lifted out into shallow left field. Shortstop Noisy ranges out just beyond the infield dirt and makes the catch for the 3rd out. So after 2, still a scoreless ball game here from Eldridge. No runs on 1 hit, no errors, and 1 man left on base. As we'll step aside, we're going to send it back over to our Sideline reporter, Scotty Gange. And Scotty, I know you had a fun day at the Nauset Grill, and
Dude.
I'm kind of jealous of you.
Yeah, you should be. I really did have a fun day. It was a special, really, afternoon, special lunch. We did get lunch at the Nauset Grill, and it was fantastic, but sat down, it was me, Kelly Nicholson, Isaac Escada, Zach Kokoska, and Zach Britton. And basically got to ask them all about this season as a whole, what they've thought of it, what they've learned, what some of their takeaways are already, what their goals are going forward. But also got to deep dive into Kelly Nicholson's, character as a coach. Got into deep dive into what their ultimate dreams and passions are in baseball, what they've learned from baseball in their lifetimes. And it was just really, really cool, getting kind of the full inside scoop from 3 of the best college baseball players in the country and a coach that has been coaching in the Cape Cod Baseball League for 15 years as a manager. I mean, it was just so cool to hear from all of them. Kind of the full in detail stuff you wouldn't really get, after the 3rd inning with Kelly, stuff we wouldn't get after a game, and Isaac Escada pitched great last night. Got to hear about it last night, but got to hear about his journey in baseball this afternoon again at the Nauset Grill. So we did video it. We had 2 cameras on it. So hopefully we'll be able to put that on this YouTube channel in the next few days because it really, really was an interesting conversation with all of them.
Thank you, Scott. Unfortunately, I was unable to be there, but I'm going to wait for that video, and I cannot wait to watch it.
Aren't you?
I am. I'm gonna go back to the cottage and sit at the kitchen table and plug the headphones in. Thanks, Scotty. So here in the top of the 3rd inning, Mariners and Firebirds still knotted up. Here a scoreless ball game from Eldridge Park. Joey Weimer, the DH, Marshak, will lead things off, followed by Weimer and Daniel Cabrera. 9-1-2 due up for the Mariners. As the sun begins to set in the sky from the 3rd base side. First pitch from Jake Eater showing bunt. His foul tipped into the mid of David Avidia for strike 1. Marshak so far just hitting a .115, 3 for his first 26. Jake Eater comes set. The 0-1. Curveball was lifted out of play on the first base side. Count 0-2. Marshak steps out from the right-hander's batter's box. Eater so far has not allowed a base hit. Just the 2 walks and 1 strikeout. 0-2 from Eater. Fastball rolled over towards the hole on the left side of the infield. Shortstop Murray fields it, throws across the diamond in time. Off-balance throw by Murray and beats the speedy Marshak down the first base line for out number 1.
He's fun to watch. He's starting to figure things out on both sides of the ball, and very accomplished player at UC Davis on the West Coast and now proving things here on the East Coast.
So Tanner Murray and Ed McKay, both those left side infielders making some nice plays in the early goings. 1 down here at the top of the 3rd. Joey Weimer, the leadoff man, steps in from the right side, nubs it in the left side of the hole. McCabe scoops it up once again, corrals it, takes his time, throw across the diamond to the first baseman, Escara. And Weimer is retired for out number 2. So you mentioned you noticed last time McCabe's taking his time over there. as he double clutches that to make sure he sets his feet at third base before he fires a missile to Escara at first. So back-to-back groundouts here induced by Jake Eater, taking just 3 pitches so far. 4 pitches, excuse me. Daniel Cabrera, the dual hitter from the left side. First pitch fastball. Just misses the kneecaps for ball 1. Cabrera grounded out to McCabe back in the first, as the Mariners still looking for their first base hit. 1-0 pitch, off speed, cut on a miss for strike 1, kind of ball and a strike. Cabrera out of LSU. See a lot of those Tigers here on the Cape. 1-1 from Eater. Curveball is corked out towards right center field. Hurtubise is on the run, makes a dive out there. Did he make the catch? Yes, he did. Jacob Hurtubise steals 4 bases yesterday and makes an incredible catch here in the 3rd inning to take a hit away from Daniel Cabrera to end the 3rd. After 2.5, it's still a scoreless ball game from Eldridge Park, as we'll take a look around the Cape here in the out-of-town scoreboard. Couple 5 o'clock games being played right now in Cotuit. The Kettleers on top of the Commodores 4-1 in the bottom of the 7th inning. Over in Brewster, YD holding a slim lead against the Whitecaps, 4-3 lead for the Red Sox, also in the bottom of the 7th. Over in Bourne, the Braves are hosting the Hyannis Harbor Hawks. 2-0 Braves lead in the bottom of the 4th inning. And over in Chatham, the game and jump out to a 4-0 lead over the Anglers in the top of the 3rd. So a couple big games here out on the Cape, just to watch for the standings-wise. Again, the Harbor Hawks have been clawing their way up that West Division just a bit. But they need to put some wins together, and they need to start today because they're playing the 4th-place team, the Bourne Braves. Also a big game here at Eldridge because the Mariners, again, are just 2 points out of 3rd place. Orleans with 26 points, Harwich with 24 in 4th, and then Brewster is 5th with 23. So it's a logjam in the East. And the Gaben as well, out in the West Division, they lead Cotuit by a point with 27 points, Cotuit with 26, as the Kettleers trying to secure a win over the Commodores, who are with 25 points, just 2 points off the lead. So after Hurtubise made an impressive catch in right center field, now the bats come around for the Firebirds. Hurtubise will bat 3rd in this half inning. A little bit of buzz still here around Eldridge Park. First pitch to Avidia, the catcher. Fastball outside edge for strike 1. Avidia starting to heat up here at the plate for the Firebirds. Hits in his 4 of his last 6 games. 0-1, a fastball misses in as he backs off the dish. Count a ball and a strike. VD had the day off yesterday. Played 2 days ago against Chatham. 1-1 off speed, tails in, low and in. 2-1. Got here in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Harwich and Orleans still tied up. 0-0. 2-1 pitch is a rocketed foul down the 3rd base side. It was a similar looking ball from his double a couple nights ago, but this one just tailing foul. 2 balls and 2 strikes to count here on the catcher out of Grand Canyon for the Firebirds. No batting gloves from Avita as he chokes up on the barrel. Swack from the windup, kicks and deals. 2-2 pitch inside corner, just missing. Avita, a good eye at the plate. Count moves to full at 3-2. I think a key for either team, just because they're both pitching teams. Whoever scores first may up winning this game. 3-2 pitch to Avicii is flown out towards left center field. Marshak camps under it, and left center, he makes the catch for out number 1. So 1 down here in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Zach Daniels, who re-enters this Firebirds lineup. Although It hasn't shown up in the hit columns. He's been swinging a better bat from the right side. First pitch curveball from the left-hander Zwack misses upstairs for ball 1. Daniels out of Tennessee, sporting the Tennessee orange and white batting gloves. 1-0 pitch. Curveball just misses inside. Count 2 balls and no strikes. Very good crowd on hand tonight here at Eldridge, as Scotty Gaines, our sideline reporter, reported earlier. 2-0 pitch fouled off the mitt of Rothenberg to the backstop. Count 2 balls and a strike. A lot of scouts here tonight as well. Here in the dog days of July. Time is called by the home plate umpire Mickey Garcia. And now they'll resume back at the dish. So back from the third base side of the rubber. Rocks and fires. 2-1 pitch, fastball upstairs. Swung on and missed. Count 2 balls and 2 strikes. Daniels, who last played back on July 7th against YD. 2-2. Off speed that is chopped back just in front of us here. More towards the third base side of home plate.
I'm going to try not to jinx anything here, and I know a lot of people say the broadcaster's jinx is real, and it's not. Orleans leads the league in strikeouts on the offensive side. They have not struck out yet through their first 8 batters. Harwich leads the league in strikeouts on the pitching side.
2-2 pitch is a major league pop-up out to straightaway center field. Marshak trailing back just in front of the warning track, and makes the catch out in straightaway center.
Now, you wonder why, besides that would be a big recipe for strikeouts, and the Firebirds did not strike out their first turn around the order. Today in the Orleans dugout, Kelly Nicholson posted a photo right next to the lineup card. It's of a Cleveland Indians player swinging. He's making contact of the ball, but Kelly circled something on there. It's the guy's wrist in his hand choking up on the bat.
We've seen a lot of the Firebirds hitters so far doing that as Hurtubise fouls it off down the third base side, out of play. First strike 1. We usually see a lot of guys do that with 2 strikes, but now starting it from the opening of their AB. 0-1 from the windup. Fastball in on the hands, flown out towards shallow left field. Gallen has some room down the left field line, comes in, jumps up, and will make the grab for the third out. So 3 flyouts induced by Zwack. Still a scoreless ball game after 3 from Eldridge Park. As we're going to wait here for our sideline reporter, Scotty Gaines. He tries to track down Kelly Nicholson, who will now move out of the dugout onto the first base side. And Scotty has fouled Kelly Nicholson here on the first base dugout. So, Scotty, we're going to send it over to you.
Thank you, Thomas. Coach, Jacob Hurtubise has grass stains all over his white jersey. I saw you yelled at Steve Angler that it was 2 catches. How much fun is that to have him on the Firebirds now?
Yeah, it's great, especially when he's come over from Harwich. So, yeah, he's a good player, man. He can really run him down. Those were 2 really good plays he made.
I talked to him before the game, and he was saying how excited he was to compete today. Have you seen something different out of him?
Well, not really. He competes every pitch. You can tell that he's gonna put a lot of foul balls over into that house this summer. He competes every pitch that he's out here, man, and plays the game the right way. Plays hard.
How about Jake Eater? 3 great innings so far. What have you seen from him?
Yeah, he's got pretty good command. First couple innings, he retired the first 2 guys, lost a little focus, and had 2 2-out walks, and so his pitch count's down. This will probably be his last inning. He's doing a nice job with command and stuff, and getting his breaking stuff over for strike, so he's fun to watch.
Thanks so much, Coach.
Yeah,
Appreciate
you bet,
the time.
Scotty.
Good luck the rest of the way.
Bet.
Thanks, Scotty and Skip. The Firebirds and the Mariners, shockingly, in another pitcher's duel here at Eldridge Park. 2 of the best pitching teams in the Cape doing their thing as we head to the top of the 4th in Orleans, Massachusetts. Firebirds and Mariners scoreless, and Jake Eater will head back out for his 4th inning of work. Christian Fedko, the second baseman from Yukon, will lead things off. Eater so far has not surrendered a hit the first 3 innings. The southpaw wheels and deals. First pitch to Fedko. Fastball rocketed down the left field line, tailing foul. Trani chases after it. This one bounces left of the third base line for strike 1.
That's the 3rd ball now that has been pulled down there by a Harwich Manor hitter.
Fedko drew one of 2 walks for this Mariners club so far, and Kelly Nicholson talked about it. That Eder got a couple quick outs, then lost a little focus before issuing a free pass. 0-1. Breaking ball that fools Fedko, loses the helmet on the follow-through, and it's 0-2.
Seen a couple of good breaking balls from both pitchers. Fedko down in front of that one. That one made a little too big on him.
Eder struck out Joey Weimer to kick off this ball game looking. Has not had a K since. Here's the 0-2. Breaking ball cut on and missed, strike 3. A curveball that ran outside. Fedko chased for the first out of the inning.
Well, there it is. Jake Eder showcasing back-to-back curveballs on Fedko. Can't connect on either one of them. Only a second strikeout, but really had Fedko swinging there.
So now Nico Cavadas, the third baseman from Notre Dame, checks in. First pitch from Eder. Breaking ball misses upstairs for ball 1. Cavadas on a hot tear right now for the Mariners. Has a home run in 3 of his last 4 games. 1-0 from Eder. Fastball up in the zone, home run hack from Cavadas, and it's 1-1. Firebirds nothing, Mariners nothing. 1 away in the top of the 4th. Cavadas flew out his last time up on a great catch by Zach Daniels to end the first. 1-1 from Eder. Fastball rocketed to the left side. Great glove play from McCabe. Scooped it out, throw across the diamond in time. The left side of the Firebirds infield continues to flex their muscles, and there's 2 away.
Yeah, heck of a pick over there by the third baseman. Eddie McCabe just scoops it out of the dirt. Again, reads the hop, keeps the glove down. And what a play by McCabe. Once again, taking his time, setting his feet, and firing a missile. This is a different Firebirds defense that we have seen today than over the last few games or so.
So now Dylan Noisy, the shortstop, digs in. First pitch, looping curveball that runs outside for ball 1. Noisy 0 for 1 tonight, flew out to center to lead off the second. Eder just going to go 4 innings tonight in his first start on the Cape. 1-0. Fastball poked into shallow left field, down the third base line. Troiani on the run. This one lands in fair territory. Noisy digging for second. The throw from Troiani just beyond the bag. It's a 2-up stand-up double for Dylan Noisy, the Mariners' first hit. And Harwich threatening for the first time tonight.
It's also the 3rd time and now the 4th inning that the Mariners have had a base runner on the first 2 innings, a 2-out walk. And with 2 down here, Noisy just pulls one down the left field line.
So that will bring up Michael Rothenberg, the switch-hitting catcher from Duke. Eder out of the stretch for just the 3rd time tonight after surrendering his first hit and walking a pair. First pitch to Rothenberg. Fastball right down the chute for strike 1. Firebirds and Mariners scoreless through the first 3+ innings. Noisy leads off second with 2 down, and Rothenberg 0 for 1 tonight. Eder set at the belt, checks on the runner at second, the 0-1. Breaking ball bounces low, Avidia smothers, and it's 1-1. Rothenberg just above the Mendoza line this summer, entering tonight at 207. Big-time power hitter at Duke this past year. 11 home runs from the catcher position. Eder's 1-1. Fastball popped behind the dish on the right side. First baseman Esqueda charging in. Avidia near the first base dugout. Avidia makes the grab after being tripped up by Esquera, holds on, and the inning is over. So an adventurous play for the Firebirds to end the frame as Jake Eder tosses 4 brilliant innings in his first start in the Orleans Red. The Mariners score no runs on 1 hit, no errors, and they leave 1 runner left on base. After 3.5, Orleans and Harwich scoreless, and we're going to call to the bullpen for this sideline report with Scotty Gage on with WEEI. Let's check in with Alec Hendon.
Hey, thanks, Josh. All right, guys, I even got the hat today for this ad read. Landho, right down the street from us here at Eldridge Park, a very favorite place amongst all the people here in Orleans. They do a tremendous job. My favorite clam chowder I've had on the Cape so far. Lots of great options, full bar, family-friendly, open late, which I know we as broadcasters care about most. Landho, proud sponsor of the Orleans Firebirds. Back to you, Josh and Thomas.
I gotta say, the clam chowder at Lanto might be one of the best on the Cape.
It definitely is. We talk about the clam chowders. You know, everybody has their own preference, like it thicker, like it thinner. I think Lanho's up there with one of my favorites on the Cape. Jailhouse over in Orleans as well, probably another favorite. I like the Squires as well in Chatham, probably my three. Not any order right there, but
I've had it
my
before.
three.
We have been to the Squire before.
We have been, yes.
And I will say it's good, but it's not as good as Landho's clam chowder.
Ooh, clam chowder off right now between different restaurants. But again, I think any chowder is satisfying to me.
That is fair. Can't go wrong on Cape Cod. Home half of the fourth, we go at Eldridge Park. Firebirds and Mariners in a pitcher's duel. Just 3 combined hits between the two sides in a scoreless ball game. Josh Zamora, the second baseman from Nevada, will kick things off. Set to face Nick Zwack, who's only surrendered 2 hits along the way. Firebirds have not struck out across their first 10 batters tonight. That's a step in the right direction for Orleans, who leads the Cape in Ks at 248 strikeouts in a little more than 24 games. First pitch to Zamora, fastball up and away for ball 1. Zamora, the first base hit tonight, shot a single into left field, but was thrown out trying to extend it into a 2-bagger. 1-0. Breaking ball that nips the outside corner, and it's 1-1. And it was a great throw by Chris Gowan, who showcased his wheels to get to the baseball down the third base line, then threw a bullet into second to nab the speedy Zamora. 1-1 breaking ball that swung on and missed, and it's 1-2. We've seen a lot of breaking balls tonight from both southpaws. Jake Eater sitting 91-93 with the heater, then dropping that curveball in the upper 70s and low 80s. Nick Zwack, similar story. Zamora chokes up the 1-2. Fastball runs tight, and it's 2 balls and 2 strikes. We've seen this Firebirds infield shuffled around tonight. Zamora, who's played his fair share of games at the hot corner, now moves over to the right side. 2-2. Breaking ball hit to the left side, right at the shortstop Noisy, who fields it, gobbles it up, throws to first in time for the first out of the inning.
Well, it seems like so far we're almost through over half this game in now. It's a chess battle. You know, each side, not many opportunities. Orleans, you know, had a Mariners run in score position in the second, but unable to score him. And Mariners in the top half of this inning collected their first base hit.
So the first pitch to Max Troiani, fastball fouled back for strike 1. Troiani bounced out right back to Zwack to end the first inning. Has reached base in 10 straight ball games, but that average climbing just below the 300 mark. As southpaw Zwack wheels and deals the 0-1. Breaking ball misses up and away, and it's 1-1. Troiani has been a fixture in the heart of this Firebirds lineup. Top 10 in hits in the Cape Cod Baseball League with 23 in his first 22 games. 1-1 fastball that Troiani chases, fouls it off, and it's 1-2. And this is where Troiani has struggled this summer. 26 Ks, which leads this Firebirds club. That's 4th in the Cape. Firebirds looking to avoid their first strikeout of the night. 1-2, fastball punched into shallow center field. Marashek coming on this, bounces down for a hit. Max Troiani, of course, another single for the Birds. And the Firebirds have their 3rd hit of the night.
Well, there it is, the 2-strike approach for the Firebirds here tonight. Troiani chokes up on the bat and sends it right back up the middle. Keeps it simple. Can you mention he has struck out, or has struggled with the strikeout a little bit this year, but looked pretty good in that AB.
And I don't think it's anywhere close for who has the most singles in the Cape this summer. Troiani now with 23 singles. Trevin Esquera digs in, the first pitch home. Fastball fouled back for strike 1. Firebirds and the Mariners scoreless with 1 on and a 1 away here in the last of the 4th. Esquera 0 for 1 tonight, grounded out to the third baseman Cavadas to lead off the second. Troiani with good speed at first, 3 for 4 in stolen base attempts. Sizing up, Zwack on the mound. Southpaw set, kicks home, 0-1. Breaking ball runs low, and it's 1-1. Esquera started his summer 2 for 2. He's 0 for 9 since his debut 4 nights ago. The ambidextrous first baseman, and yes, not just a switch hitter, but ambidextrous in everything he does. The 1-1. Breaking ball hit hard to the left side, through the hole into left field for a base hit. Back-to-back base knocks for the Firebirds. They've got runners on first and second with only one away.
And Kelly Nicholson talks about it all the time. It's about putting and stringing a couple of hits together. The Firebirds have done so here with one out, back-to-back base hits, as you mentioned. Now it's up to McCabe and on deck and Tanner Murray if they can try to score him around. A couple of guys who've been swinging the bats pretty well for the Firebirds as of late.
So McCabe, who bounced out his first time up, but hit it hard to the shortstop, Dylan Noisy. 2 on with 1 out in a scoreless ball game. First pitch, breaking ball bounces low for ball 1. McCabe at third base tonight for the first time this summer. Has played his first 15 ball games at shortstop. And he got the night off last night, but he's reached in 5 straight games. Esquera aboard at first, Troiani off of second. The 1-0. Breaking ball flutters outside. It's 2 balls and no strikes.
And McCabe, a guy that just loves to hit with runners in scoring position. 15 ABs so far this year. 5 for 15 with 7 runs driven in. It always feels like when McCabe's at the dish, he drives and runs.
Had a 2 RBI single just a couple nights ago. Went 1 for 4 against Chatham the last time he played. 2-0 to McCabe. Breaking ball fouled back to the backstop, and it's 2-1. Now McCabe, a hit machine at Georgetown this past year. Finished 3rd in the Big East with 70 hits. 4th in average, batting .345 in his sophomore campaign. Harwich shifted up the middle, trying to turn 2 and get out of this jam. 2-1 the count to the 5-hole hitter, Eddie McCabe. Second baseman Fedko charges to the bag. Now he retreats, 2-1 home. Fastball flared down the right side, running out of play onto the hill, and it's 2-2. So McCabe unstraps the batting gloves, now tightens them, and like we've seen all night from this Orleans club, chokes up on the bat. Firebirds have yet to strike out tonight across their first 13 hitters. They lead the Cape in strikeouts, and the Mariners pitching staff has done just the same on the mound. 2 on with 1 away in the last of the 4th. 2-2. Fastball runs inside, and the count runs full. So we'll see if the Firebirds are aggressive on the base paths. 3-2 with 1 away in the bottom half of the 4th, with the Firebirds and the Mariners scoreless. We've seen this Orleans team start to run a little more the last couple games. Here's the payoff pitch. Runner's not going. Fastball cut on and missed. Strike 3. So it takes Wack till the 4th inning to record his first strikeout. But McCabe goes down swinging for the second out.
Well worked at bat by Eddie McCabe. Is unfortunately unable to hold on in the end. Worked it all the way to 3-2. But Zwack goes back to the fastball and pumps it by McCabe.
So now the hot swinging bat of Tanner Murray will dig in for the second time tonight. Murray a double back in the second. Firebirds' first extra base hit tonight. They've had 4 base knocks compared to just 1 for Harwich. First pitch to Murray. Fastball skied down the right side. First baseman Lanzilli in foul ground. Beyond the first base coaching box, makes the grab in foul territory for the final out of the inning. So the Birds had runners on first and second with 1 away, but Zwack bounces back to retire the final 2. Orleans scores no runs on 2 hits, no errors, and they leave 2 runners left on base. After 4 innings at Eldridge Park, Firebirds and Mariners scoreless. You're listening to Firebirds Baseball on the Birds Broadcast Network. Here's the 1-2 pitch again. It's a breaker that Samuelson just looked like he was swinging a tennis racket at and couldn't make contact. It's the second strikeout of the inning for Wilcox. And they're
Way to go back in there for Andrew Abbott. 1-2 fast.
The 1-0 pitch. Fastball catches the inside corner, and it's 1-1. And you Kelly Nicholson will make the move to the bullpen. He'll get the right-hander from Grand Canyon. Dawson McCarville set to make his 5th appearance of the summer. But what a job well done by Jake Eder in his first start on the gate. 4 scoreless innings for the Birds. Has Orleans and Harwich scoreless heading to the top of the 5th. And McCarville, who hasn't pitched in quite some time, it's been 5 days since the right-hander towed the rubber, went 3 2/3 out of the pen in a game that the Birds got crushed by Wareham. McCarville ate up a lot of that beating for Orleans. But the only time he's pitched against the Mariners this summer, 4 innings without surrendering a hit. Struck out 4, faced the minimum back on June 29th, and will go up against the bottom third of this Mariners lineup. Chris Lanzilli will lead off the top of the 5th. First baseman from Wake Forest digs in. First pitch of the night from McCarville. Fastball misses outside for ball 1. Lanzilli made a nice catch to end the last half inning. Was over his left shoulder, backtracked into foul ground to make the snag. 1-0 from McCarville. Breaking ball fools Lanzilli, and it's 1-1. Let's give you the final line on Jake Eder. Went 4 innings, surrendered 1 hit, no runs, 2 walks, and 2 Ks. The 1-1, fastball cut on and missed, and it's 1-2. Lanzilli drew a walk his first time up. A 2-out free pass issued by Eder. That was really the only thing you can hold against him. 1-2 from McCarville, nasty slider that Lanzilli chases for the first out of the inning.
And McCarville looking good so far against his first hitter in Lanzilli. And going back to that Wareham game that you mentioned before, Kelly Nicholson really commending McCarville for continuing to grind out there on the mound, even though the game went up by a lot at that point.
First pitch to Chris Gallen, breaking ball flutters low for ball 1. Firebirds and Mariners scoreless with 1 away in the top of the 5th. 1-0 from McCarville. Breaking ball misses outside. It's 2 balls and no strikes. Gallen 0 for 1 tonight at the dish, but made an impressive play in left field to gun down Josh Zamora way back in the first. 2-0 from McCarville. Fastball chopped off the inside left foot of Gallen, and it's 2-1. Thomas, you saw Chris Gallen playing the pinstripes for Harwich last summer. In his second go-around on the Cape, Gallen hit .262 a year ago with Harwich. 2-1, breaking ball misses low, and the count's 3 balls and 1 strike.
It definitely has the speed. 7 stolen bases so far this year. Perfect 7 for 7.
He has struggled at the dish this summer. 3-1, chopped up the third base side and foul, and the count runs full. Gallen just 1 for his last 18 at the plate. 0 for 5 this summer against the Orleans Firebirds, but last summer hit a walk-off home run on the opening night of the season. 3-2 the count. Here's the pitch. Fastball corked into center field. Hurtubise on the run. Lays out. This caroms off his left foot right to Zach Daniels in right center field. Gallen held to a long single. Hurtubise was racing. Kick save and a beauty right to Zach Daniels. And it's a 1-out single here in the 5th.
I was literally just about to say that a kick save would have been use of the pad there looked like. You know, Army does have a hockey team, so that's what it looked like. You know, if Army needs a goaltender this year, they should go to Jacob Hurtubise, because that was probably one of the weirdest plays I've ever seen. Hurtubise trying to make another diving catch out there, but hits off the leg right to Zach Daniels. So another wacky player here in the Cape. It seems like this year we've seen a lot of those plays just like that.
And now Dustin McCarville having some problems holding on to the baseball. Was off the rubber and dropped it. And the third base umpire, Jason Klump, signaled safe, saying not a balk. But now Mickey Garcia and this umpiring crew want to get together for the second consecutive night wearing the cream tops.
Yeah, and Steve Angler down there in the dugout was yelling balk.
I would want an explanation as well. Was he on the rubber or not? If he's on the rubber and drops the ball, it is a balk. They, in fact, ruled he was off the mound. So it's just a careless mistake. No score with 1 away in the top of the 5th. Gallen aboard at first. First pitch home. Fastball shot to the right side under the dive of Josh Zamora into right field for a base hit. Gallen puts on the brakes at second, but for the first time tonight, the Mariners have back-to-back hits, and Harwich is threatening with runners on first and second and one away.
Well, the Firebirds collected back-to-back singles with one down in the fourth, and now here in the fifth, Arch does the exact same thing. Both teams are very similar in many aspects of their teams. You know, great pitching teams. The offense is there at times.
Joey Weimer, the DH, digs in from the right side. First pitch from McCarville. Slider misses low for ball one. Firebirds and Mariners, still no runs in the fifth inning at Eldridge Park. We saw 9 runs yesterday here in Orleans in the first 3. 3 scored last night in the first by the Brewster Whitecaps. Then the Firebirds rallied for 6 across the first 3 innings. 1-0 bounced in the dirt. Avidia knocks it down to his right. He's going to throw to second. Not in time to nab Marashek. So both runners advanced 90 feet on the wild pitch in the dirt.
Well, just a good read by Gallen when Vidia knew he wasn't going to get the speedy Gallen at third base. So his next best shot was Marshak over at second. But he's got some speed as well, and that's what Steve Englert always does, is that he always has speedy guys, not only the 1 and 2 spot, but also the 9 spot as well.
So now the question becomes, will the Firebirds bring their infield in? And now they creep in with only 1 away in the top of the fifth in a scoreless ball game. 2-0 to Weimer. Fastball down low, and it's 3 balls and no strikes. Now there is an open base at first. We've seen the Firebirds issue a couple intentional free passes. It looks like Kelly Nicholson signaling for that right now. Maybe they're saying throw the ball home, giving the 4 fingers. 3-0 to Weimer. He's taking. It's a breaking ball that misses outside, ball 4. So nonetheless issues a free pass to Weimer, but the Mariners have the bases loaded with only 1 down.
Yeah, Dave Avidia asking Mickey Garcia where that pitch missed. Turned fully around there. It's now a call time.
So Dawson McCarville in a little bit of a jam for the first time tonight. Jake Eater, 4 strong innings in his first start on the Cape. Only surrendered 1 hit. But the Mariners have mounted a rally here in the fifth. They've got the bases loaded with only 1 away. First pitch to Daniel Cabrera. Fastball chopped to the right side, could be 2. Fielded by Zamora. Throw off balance to second. Nabs the lead runner, but that will bring home a run as Chris Gallen touches the plate. And the Mariners are on the board. It's 1-0.
Well, tough play by Zamora. Had a turn falling off his back foot, but just able to get Weimer at second base. Opted to stand in instead of sliding. Interesting decision there, but Weimer is nabbed at second.
So a fielder's choice, 4-6, and a heads-up play by Josh Zamora. That ball was hit towards the first base bag. Was going to be tough to turn to with Cabrera's speed, and elected to make the off-balance throw to second to gun down Weimer. So Harwich a 1-0 lead over Orleans with now 2 outs in the top of the fifth inning. McCarville out of the stretch with a runner on the corners. First pitch, fastball misses outside for ball 1. So Cabrera gets the RBI on the fielder's choice. He's aboard at first, and Marashek 90 feet away. 3-hole hitter Fedko digs back in. 1-0. Breaking ball bounces low. Avidia knocks it down with the chest. It's 2 balls and no strikes. Fedko 0 for 1 tonight. Struck out swinging his last time up. Both of these teams have put the ball in play at a very high rate tonight. 3 strikeouts for the Birds on the mound. Just 1 for Harwich. Reason why we've played more than 4 innings in a little more than an hour. 2-0. Breaking ball flutters low. It's 3 balls and no strikes.
And McCarville just isn't missing by much. He's nibbling at the strike zone. Just a hair up, and that's a strike.
So Harwich with a 1-0 lead over Orleans, and McCarville trying to keep the damage just at 1. 3-0 the count to Fedko, the pitch. Fastball upstairs, ball 4. So the second walk of the inning for the Mariners. That'll load the bases for the second time in this frame as well. And Nico Cavadas, who has been on a tear, will come in. And Matt Troop, the pitching coach, will come out to have a word with McCarville.
And if you're Steve Angler on the third base dugout, this is the guy you want at the dish. He's probably your best hitter in this lineup and has power as well with a couple of home runs in the last few games or so.
Cavadas has driven in 9 runs in the last 4 games, riding an 11-game hit streak, and has homered in 3 of those last 4. He's 0 for 2 tonight, but it's a big-time spot for the hulking lefty from Notre Dame. Bases full with 2 away in the top of the 5th. Firebirds trail the Mariners 1-0. Fedko aboard at first, Cabrera on second, and Marichek 90 feet away. So the 6'2", 230-pound power hitter digs in from the left side. First pitch from McCarville. Fastball dots the inside corner for strike 1. Cavadas, the 7th hitter this inning for Harwich, and what has broken up this pitcher's duel at Eldridge Park. Cavadas, 17 RBIs on the summer. That's top 5 in the Cape. 0-1, fastball above the letters, and it's 1-1.
Well, it's interesting, a guy like Austin Wells and Al Cavadas, 2 of the best hitters in the Cape League. Just haven't put things together against the Firebirds so far.
Cavadas just 2 for 10 against Orleans this summer. 1-1. Breaker bounces low, and again, Avidia knocks it down. What a nice job by David Avidia all summer long, bailing out his pitchers like it's his job, and it is.
It's more confidence on the mound, too, knowing you can throw a curveball, a little bit harder because you know you have a guy like Avidia behind the dish.
Bases full with 2 down in the 5th. 2-1. Fastball skied down the left side. This will run out of play onto Route 28, and it's 2-2. Thomas, we almost had your moment of the summer. A foul ball on Route 28 and a car getting hit. It did not happen.
It's hit the pavement more times the last couple games. With Hurtubise now, Kelly Nicholson saying we're going to see a lot of balls over there.
It's going to spray the houses down the left side. 2-2. Breaking ball on the inside corner. Strike 3 called. Sharp slider from Dawson McCarville as the right-hander from Grand Canyon strands the bases full. But not before the Mariners get on the board as Harwich scores 1 run on 2 hits. No errors, and they leave 3 runners left on base. Halfway home at Eldridge Park, Harwich leads Orleans 1-0. And Thomas, let's check out some of the standings and league leaders in the Cape. Little more than halfway through the summer.
Well, we haven't checked the league leaders in a while. We've been focusing a little more on the standings. Obviously, just a lot of movement going on those sides. So we'll take a look at the leaders first. Zach Deloach out of Falmouth leads the Cape League with a 400 average. Wyatt Young still up there, number 2, 378. And Austin Wells down a little bit on the list, number 6 with a 333 average. Darren Baker right behind him with 329. Our guy Nick Gonzalez has dropped a bit there, down to 326. He was hitting near 370 earlier this week. Austin Wells tied with Tyler Hardman and TJ Collette, so 3 guys from the East Division with 5 home runs. 2 from Brewster, Austin Wells from YD. They're with 5 home runs. Cavadas with 4. He's tied for second with a long list. Leading the league in RBIs, Hunter Goodman of Hyannis, the catcher from Memphis with 22 runs driven in. Gonzalez tied for second with Austin Wells with 20. Polkovich, the switch hitter, with 17 for Chatham. Cavadas tied for third as well with 17. Also with Jamal O'Gwinan of USC. And for strikeouts, Ian Seymour with 32. We saw him just the other day in YD.
He's made 2 starts against the Firebirds now, both high strikeout counts. I believe 8+ Ks in both of his outings. Firebirds have only struck out once tonight, but they find themselves on the wrong end of a pitcher's duel at the moment. Mariners lead the Firebirds 1-0 as we head to the last of the 5th at Eldridge Park. Nick Zwack goes back out to the mound for the Mariners, set to face the bottom third of this Orleans lineup. First pitch to Shea Whitcomb. Breaking ball runs inside for ball 1. Whitcomb has been a spark at the bottom of this Firebirds lineup this summer. In the DH spot tonight for Kelly Nicholson's club. Got off to a slow start. 1-0. Fastball misses outside. It's 2 balls and no strikes. Whitcomb just 1 for his first 13, but since that start, he's batting .303. Has 2 home runs and 7 RBIs this summer. 2-0. Fastball taken low, And the count's 3 balls and no strikes.
And the hard starters so far over the last couple games have been really not on a leash. We saw Polish against Orleans last time out. He went about 6 innings. He went about, I think, 6 or 7 his last start just a few games ago. And then their pitcher yesterday, I believe it was McCullough from Kansas State, went, I believe, 7 innings.
So 3-0 the count to Whitcomb, rather. Fastball right down the chute, and it's 3-1. And that's been the staple of this Mariners club and a big reason why they're in the 4th spot right now in the East Division, just 2 points back of the Firebirds for 3rd. They lead the Cape in practically every pitching category. 3-1 heater on the outside corner, and the count runs full.
And a guy like Logan Allen, who's at Team USA now, was just spectacular in his couple starts here on Cape Cod. Before he left, he was leading the Cape in wins and strikeouts.
The payoff pitch, breaking ball misses low and outside, ball 4. Shea Whitcomb works a walk. It's the Firebirds' first free pass of the night, and Orleans a leadoff base runner in the 5th.
Well, I was going to say before this half inning started, I wouldn't be surprised if Orleans answers right back with a run. It seems like whenever these two teams get together, it's always a close ball game. And when one team does one thing, the other team reacts.
We've seen that a bunch the last 2 summers on Cape Cod. David Avidia, the batter, squares around, pops up the bunt attempt. The catcher, Rothenberg, sheds the mask, and this drops foul just before the backstop for strike 1.
Want a low-scoring ball game? What does Coe Nicholson want to do? He wants to play some small ball and try to move Whitcomb, the runner at first base, over to second and put him in scoring position.
So Avidia behind in the count, 0-1, with the Birds trailing the Mariners 1-0 in the last of the 5th. Whitcomb's aboard at first. Zwack set at the chest. Avidia squares, fastball bunted up the first base line. Zwack, the southpaw, comes off, spins around, fires to first. A collision at first base, nobody was on the bag. Zwack tried throwing the ball to Lanzilli. The second baseman, Fedko, was over there as well. Some confusion, and Orleans gets a gift.
See, that's all you need to do if you're trying to bunt the ball. Just put it in play because there's always sticky situations like that over at first base. And now the Firebirds have 2 men on and nobody out.
So now an eruption down the right side from the Firebirds faithful. I don't know what it's about, but I think they're cheering on the Birds. Runners on first and second with nobody down. First pitch to Zach Daniels. Breaking ball drops in on the outside corner for strike 1. So it officially gets scored as a fielder's choice in an E3. Just Avidia trying to lay down a sack bunt, and Lanzilli is called for the error. Now ZD will go down to the third base coach, Jamie Quinn, to get the sign. And will the Birds ask Zach Daniels to lay down a bunt now?
Just about to say that. Do you think that they're going to ask him to lay down back-to-back bunts again? Anything can happen when you put a ball in play.
Daniels, not your prototypical bunter. 6'2", 206 pounds. He's squaring around. 0-1. Breaking ball taken off the plate, and it's 1-1.
Again, this is what Cal Nicholson and this coaching staff really prides himself on. They set up the pitching machine almost near the on-deck circle, just in front of it more, and then they practice their bunting before almost every single game.
2 on with nobody down in the last of the 5th, with the Firebirds trailing the Mariners 1-0. Daniels squaring 1-1, bunted up the first base line. Fielded by the first baseman, Lanzilli. He's going to make the throw to third and gets the lead runner, Whitcomb. Lanzilli came crashing home. There was no confusion that time for the Mariners. They get the lead runner on the fielder's choice, 3-5.
Yeah, just a heads-up play by Lanzilli, the first baseman, was creeping in. It was almost a wheel play in motion. Fetko was going to roll over from second to first. Lanzilli was already charging in. Zach Daniels put it right into the glove of Lanzilli. It was a good bunt, but Lanzilli, again, just a heads-up play. Throw over to third base and get the lead runner.
It was a great bunt from Daniels, but it's just a better play from the Harwich Mariners. Now the first pitch to Jacob Hurtubise. Hurtubise shows bunt and pulls it back on the fastball downstairs for ball 1.
And why not bunt again? I mean, Hurtubise has speed. And if he puts one down the third base line, he's a left-hander. It's going to be a little easier for him to push it down there.
Now, Hurtubise does not have an RBI this summer. He started 2019 with the Harwich Mariners before coming to Orleans. First baseman Chris Lanzilli way in on the grass. 1-0. Hurtubise squaring, nubs it up the third base line. This dribble's foul, and it's 1-1. So with the Firebirds calling on another bunt to see if the Mariners can handle it.
I've never seen a team try to bunt 3 batters in a row, but anything goes. I mean, if it works, I'm not going to say anything.
Now with Hurtubise's speed,
it's
the heads-up play might be at third.
Yeah.
Because you have no chance of getting Hurtubise out.
Oh, yeah.
There's one away in the bottom of the 5th with the Firebirds down by a run. Lefty on lefty matchup, the 1-1. Fastball pounded down the left side, but runs out of play, and it's 1-2. So the Jacob Hurtubise ball collection continues to pile up down the left field line.
That's what Cal Nicholson said. I'm telling you, there's going to be a car hit, and I'm going to put my money down right now. Jacob Hurtubise. He's going to be the guy that does it. Wow. I've seen so many balls so far. Hurtubise, like, what, 4th game now?
Vegas set the line. Zwack set at the chest, checks on the runner at second. 1-2, fastball downstairs, and it's 2-2. Hurtubise 0 for 2 tonight. Bounced out right back to Nick Zwack in the first. Flew out to left field in the third. Orleans trying to get on the board, trailing the Mariners 1-0. It's been an early pitcher's duel at Eldridge Park. 7 combined hits between the two sides, and 2 of the best pitching teams in the Cape Cod Baseball League. Daniels is aboard at first. Avidia leads off of second with 1 away. Hurtubise, the rising senior out of Army, digs back in from the left side. Here's the pitch home. Breaking ball nubbed to the third side. Gets under the dive of Cavadas into left field for a base hit. Avidia held up at third, but a choke and a poke from Jacob Hurtubise. The 2-strike approach continues for the Birds, and they've got the bases full.
Yeah, really good 2-strike approach there. Pitch low and outside. Probably the toughest pitch for a left-hander to hit. And he puts it past the diving Cavadas. Again, not a natural third baseman down there. Just a squibbler that gets through the hole on the left side of the infield. And now the Firebirds have something going here. Zamora, who's up now at the dish, just wants to probably elevate something.
And now it looks like the Mariners will make the move to the bullpen. Steve Englert will take the slow stroll out to the mound to check on Zwack, but it might be it after 4 2/3. Zwack gets 75 pitches through 4 1/3, but the Firebirds have the bases full and 1 away in the bottom of the 5th. Mariners on top of Orleans, 1-0.
Now, I know that from my time with Harwich, Englert sometimes goes out to talk. I know they have somebody down in the bullpen as well, so it could be buying time, but I've seen times last year where Englert goes out to the mound and sticks with them.
So a southpaw is tossing in the Mariners bullpen, and Mickey Garcia breaks up the powwow, and Englert will just trot back to the dugout.
Englert used to be, I believe, a former catcher, so he's a guy that really understands talking to pitchers as well.
So Josh Zamora will dig in from the right side. Bases full of Firebirds with only 1 away. First pitch to Zamora. Fastball dots the outside corner for strike 1. Mariners 1, Firebirds 0. Hurtubise on first. Daniels off of second. Avidia 90 feet away. Zach out of the windup, 0-1. Breaking ball popped into shallow left field. Gowan, the left fielder, charging to his left. He's calling for it. Called off by Marashek last second. He'll just run this ball in with Avidia not attempting to tag for a big-time second out for Harwich.
Yeah, big-time second out. You're exactly right. Ball just didn't carry enough to the outfield for David Avidia to tag from third base, and now there's 2 outs, and once again, Mariners just 1 out away from escaping out of this jam.
So Englert gave the vote of confidence to Zwack to keep him in the ball game. He's 1 out closer to getting out of the jam, but needs 1 more. Max Troiani, the singles machine, digs in from the right side. Southpaw Zach, his first pitch home. Breaking ball flutters low for ball 1. Rothenberg doesn't know where it is. He finds it at his left foot for ball 1.
We saw Hurtubise take advantage of a block at the dish. Obviously, he's over at first base, but sometimes just being aware over at third base if the catcher doesn't know where the ball is. This time the ball kind of was at the feet, but
Triani 3 for his first 5 against Harwich this summer. 1-0. Heater flared back and out of play, and it's 1-1. Firebirds have left 3 runners on tonight, despite Orleans out-hitting Harwich 5-3. Hurtubise on at first, Daniels on second, and Avidia standing 10 feet in front of Jamie Quinn at third. Triani chokes up on the bat. 1-1 from the southpaw. Breaking ball shot into shallow right field. The right fielder Cabrera coming on. This bounces down for a hit. Avidia's in from third. Everyone stops, and now the ball's thrown away by the right fielder Cabrera. Daniels darts home on the errant throw from Daniel Cabrera, and the Birds take the lead. It's 2-1 in the 5th.
it's the break that the Firebirds need. That ball just finding in front of the right fielder Cabrera. Missed the cutoff, and Lanzillian took a wicked hop over the catcher Rothenberg. Daniels pumped the brakes, running around third, held his position, and then advanced towards home as the ball trickled the backstop, as the pitcher's whack was not backing up behind the dish.
Orleans gets bailed out on the errant throw. And Max Troiani really got lucky because he was heading to second before the throw was made. Would have been caught in a pickle. But instead, the throw goes wide of the plate, and the Birds take the lead. First pitch to Trevin Esquera. Fastball that he watches outside for ball 1. So the luck starting to turn in Orleans' favor. Thomas, you know what they say. 1 is a win, 2's a streak. And the Birds 4.5 innings away from picking up their second straight victory. 1-0 to Esquera. Fastball pounded down the right side. This will trickle out of play, and it's 1-1. So Triani's on second after the throw from Cabrera. Hurtubise is 90 feet away. You know, if the ball gets even just 5 or 10 feet away from Rothenberg, you'll see Hurtubise try and score.
Oh, yeah, he's got that awareness.
Esquera 1 for 2 today, a single his last time up. 1-1. Breaking ball stays upstairs, and it's 2-1.
And in both games so far this season, Harwich was the first team to score. Back in the first game, Orleans won 5-1. Harwich scored 1 in the first before the Firebirds scored 5 unanswered throughout the rest of the ballgame. Harwich scored 2 in the second game, and the second before Firebirds won 7-2.
2-1. Fastball chopped foul off the left foot of Esquera, and it's 2-2. So they still haven't officially marked it an error against Daniel Cabrera, bringing home the second run. But Orleans is on top of Harwich nonetheless, 2-1, with runners on second and third and 2 away. 2-2 the count to the Birds. Cleanup man Trevin Esquera. Zwack comes set. Here's the 2-2. Breaking ball waved out and missed, strike 3. So Zwack bounces back with a punch out. Esquera goes down hacking, but Orleans tacks on 2 runs on 2 hits, 2 errors, and 2 runners left on base. After 5 innings at Eldridge Park, the Birds a 2-1 lead. You're listening to Firebirds Baseball on the Birds Broadcast Network.
Okay, if you were to make a Firebirds jersey, a new one, an alternate Firebirds jersey.
I'd go all out on it. You know, I'd take the Firebirds. I'd build the Flames from the bottom. Of course, Flames, because I saw my buddy. He would go. It was in the Northwoods. They had the Star Wars night. Joey, shout out.
And they
Joey.
made Star Wars jerseys.
And they made like these kind of cool Star Wars. I'm pretty sure Star Wars. It was like a little Chewbacca, if I remember it correctly.
Yeah.
Of that, so like Firebirds. If it was like one of those nights, I'd build like the flames come from the bottom, and then like some crazy big bird like across the front of it, like with some along those lines.
Keep going. I need this.
And then I get the back of it. That's where it'd say Firebird. Say on the back where like your last name would go.
Nice.
I've had the number down here.
What's the font look like on the back?
The font.
Is it sleek or is it like flames going out of it?
Probably a little sleek design, pretty sharp.
Pointy edges.
Yeah, pointy edges.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. And then
dude, we should sell this to the team. This is
what else would it have? You got that, you got the bird, Firebirds on the back. I feel like it would be either a black base kind of jersey with the flames going up, or be kind of a red with like the Flames, so we kind of go that way, but probably more of the black area.
Oh my
of it.
goodness.
Dawson McCarville heads back out for his second inning of work. First pitch from the right-hander to Dylan Noisy. Fouled back for strike one. Firebirds lead the Mariners 2-1 as we head to the top of the sixth at Eldridge Park. And for the third consecutive time these two teams meet, we've seen this parallel. 0-1, breaking ball flutters outside, and it's 1-1. Firebirds have trailed in every ball game this summer between the Firebirds and the Mariners. 1-1. Breaking ball chopped over the head of McCarville into center field for a base hit. So Dylan Noisy, his second knock of the night. He leads off this sixth with a single.
So what do we say? It's always a seesaw of a battle between Harwich and Orleans. And after Orleans puts up a 2 spot, after they answered Harwich, Harwich now gets the leadoff man on.
It's the third consecutive matchup this summer that the Birds have gone down 1-0, but have taken the lead. First pitch to Michael Rothenberg, runner going. Avidia bobbles the ball, throw down to second, not in time. So Dylan Noisy slides in safely. It's his third stolen bag, and the Mariners have the tying run in scoring position with nobody down.
Yeah, technically don't see a lot of base runners trying to steal off David Avidia. But Steve Anglert and Coach Pascaros over at third base for the Mariners, rolling the dice here.
So 0-1 the count to Rothenberg, who digs back into the left side. Here's the pitch from McCarville. Breaking ball runs tight, and it's 1-1. So the Firebirds lead the Mariners 2-1. But the tying run's in scoring position for Harwich. Rothenberg 0 for 2 tonight. Grounded out his first time, pops up and foul ground his second time. 1-1. Breaking ball that Rothenberg chases, and it's 1-2. Rothenberg just 1 RBI in his first 9 games on the Cape. Drove in 52 runs this past spring at Duke. Sunset painting the skies at Eldridge Park over Nauset Middle School. Here's the 1-2. Breaking ball bounces low, kicks off the right shoulder of Avidia in front of the dish, and that'll allow Noisy to take third on the wild pitch.
Yeah, just a tough break there for the Firebirds. Good block by Avidia, but the ball just squirts up in the air. And Avidia was like playing pinball back there. Ball bounced up, he looked for it, found it, then it bounced to the right towards the hitter in Rothenberg.
So the Firebirds leading the Mariners 2-1. But the tying run 90 feet away, and the Birds' infield comes in. 2-2. Breaking ball ties up Rothenberg, strike 3. Sharp slider from McCarville. Rothenberg couldn't connect, and a big out number 1.
The second big strikeout for McCarville. He struck out Cavadas to end the fifth inning with the bases loaded. Now with just the tying run over at third base, goes right back to the same off-speed pitch to strike out Rothenberg.
So now Chris Lanzilli, the first baseman, digs in. High chopper to the third base side, but foul for strike 1. So Noisy was charging home on contact. We'll see if that stays true. The Orleans infield still in, trying to cut the tying run at the dish. Firebirds on top of the Mariners 2-1 here in the top of the sixth. Lanzilli 0 for 1 tonight, struck out swinging his last time up. 0-1. Breaking ball chased out of the zone, and it's 0-2. It's that sharp slider from Dawson McCarville that has kept the Mariners off balance tonight.
Probably been his best pitch so far.
0-2. Breaking ball hit on a line right at the shortstop, Tanner Murray, who leaps and makes the grab. What a play by Tanner Murray to take away a hit and a run for the Mariners, and there's 2 down.
Well, it's an easy play if you're playing back on the grass at normal depth, but an even tougher play when you're in on the grass. Tanner Murray showing up the hops and takes a hit and an RBI away from Chris Lanzilli.
Get up, young fella, to keep the Birds in front. First pitch to Chris Gallen, shows bunt, pulls back. on the fastball that dots the outside corner for strike one. Gallen scored the lone Mariner run tonight. He singled in the 5th and came around to score. Left fielder from Boston College steps in from the right side, 0-1. Breaking ball misses low and away, and it's 1-1. So Noisy, a leadoff single, stole second, advanced to third on a wild pitch. He's still the tying run, just 90 feet away, with the Birds on top 2-1. 1-1. Fastball just outside, and it's 2 balls and 1 strike. Birds a fresh bullpen tonight after Isaac Esqueda went 6 shutout innings out of the pen. A right-hander starting to get warmed up for Orleans beyond the right field fence. 2-1. Breaking ball drops on the outside corner, and it's 2-2. So what a job by Dawson McCarville with the breaking balls tonight, but is 1 pitch away from getting out of the jam. Here's the 2-2. Slider hit over the head of Murray, this time into left field for a base hit. Noisy comes in to score, and the Mariners have tied this ball game up on the RBI single from Chris Gallen, the Firebirds killer.
Yeah, Gallen has stayed hot tonight. Pair of singles now, this time driving in a run after he scored the first one, as you mentioned, back in the 5th. And this one just over the leaping Tanner Murray once again. I think Gallen learned from Lanzilla last AB. He says, I got to put it over Tanner Murray this time.
First pitch to Max Marashek. Fastball in there for strike one. So a brand new ball game once again at Eldridge Park. Firebirds 2, Mariners 2, with 2 away in the top of the 6th. McCarville out of the stretch with a runner on first. 0-1. Runner going. Breaking ball misses low. Throw down from Avidia, not in time. So Chris Gallen continues to tear up the base paths. It's Gallen's 8th stolen base, and he's yet to be caught this summer.
Yeah, he had speed last year. Got thrown out a couple times more than he probably would have liked, but this year has, as you mentioned, been on a scorching streak out of the base paths. Has yet to be caught.
So now the go-ahead run in scoring position for the Mariners. 1-1 the count. Here's the pitch. Slider downstairs. It's 2 balls and 1 strike. Marashek a single his last time up. One of 5 hits for Harwich this evening. Mariners have scored 2 runs on 5 hits, 2 errors. They've left 6 runners on. For Orleans, it's 2 runs on 6 hits, no errors, and 5 runners left on base. 2-1, breaking ball misses low. It's 3 balls and 1 strike. So these teams going back and forth. Mariners scored a run in the top of the 5th. The Birds answered with 2 of their own, and now another run from the Mariners to even this game up. Gallen dancing off second base, sizing up McCarville on the mound. Not being held on by Josh Zamora. 3-1. Breaking ball runs outside for ball 4. So now Kelly Nicholson will emerge out of the Firebirds dugout. He'll make the move to the bullpen. Set to face the top of this Harwich lineup, and Dustin McCarville, who got the Birds out of a jam in the 5th, will not finish the 6th at Eldridge Park. Here in the 6th inning, Orleans and Harwich deadlocked at 2. We'll step aside. You're listening to Firebirds Baseball on the Birds Broadcast Network. Welcome back to Eldridge Park. The Orleans Firebirds and the Harwich Mariners tied at 2 here in the top of the 6th inning. And Kelly Nicholson will make the move to the bullpen once again. He gets the right-hander Zebulon Vermillion. Vermillion, his 5th appearance this summer for Orleans, has not surrendered an earned run yet. 3 scoreless frames for the Birds. Last pitched 3 days ago against Yarmouth Dennis. Went 2/3, gave up 2 hits, no earned runs, no walks, and no Ks, and will face the top of this Harwich lineup with the Mariners threatening with 2 on and 2 away. So Joey Weimer, the leadoff man tonight out of Cincinnati. The DH is 0 for 2, but drew a walk his last time up. Dawson McCarville exits this ball game after an inning and 2/3. He's responsible for both runners on first and second. Vermillion working out of the stretch from the third base side of the rubber. 6'5" righty comes set. First pitch home. Fastball notches the outside corner for strike 1. Weimer at 6'4", 215 pounds. Vermillion 6'5", 220. Marichak aboard at first. Galland off of second. But the Firebirds hoping the righty from Kansas can get the Birds out of the jam. Here's the 0-1. Breaking ball hit hard to the left side. Takes a candy hop to the shortstop. Murray charges in. Sidearm throw pulls Esquera offline. Now Galland's charging for the plate, and he's gunned out. Chris Galland came racing all the way around from second. Esquera a heads-up play to throw it home, and the Birds get out of the jam.
Yeah, it was a heads-up play by Esquera over at first base. It was a tough play for Murray. Couldn't really get the ball out of the webbing. Had to throw on the run, and Esquera comes off the bag just to keep the ball in play, and then a heads-up play, throws it home, and a good pick by Vidi at the dish to nab Chris Galland.
So the Mariners still score 1 run on 2 hits, 1 error, and they leave 2 runners left on base. After 5.5 at Eldridge Park, the Firebirds and the Mariners tied at 2, and Thomas, let's look around the Cape Cod Baseball League.
Well, Falmouth and Gannicatuit at Lowell Park. That game is final. Kettleers defeat the Commodores 6-1. And over in Bruce, the Whitecaps come back. They were down 4-3 to the Red Sox in the 7th inning. Score 4 unanswered and defeat the Red Sox 7-4. So the Red Sox drop another game as the Whitecaps now move to 12-11-1. They have 25 points now, so this game becomes ever more so important to both teams as bottom of the 7th in the Bourne, 2-1 lead over the Harbor Hawks. That game inching a little bit closer. Bourne was up 2-0 in that game. Hyannis on the board, and then out in Chatham, top of the 8th inning from Veterans Field. Wareham a 6-0 lead over the Anglers.
So the Firebirds and the Mariners tied at 1, and Steve Engler will make the move to the bullpen now. Tommy Vale, the southpaw from Notre Dame, will enter to make his 5th appearance. Vale, a 4.50 ERA across his first 6 innings. Hasn't pitched in a week. Went 2 innings at Brewster, gave up 2 runs, both earned, a hit, walked 1, and struck out 3. So let's give you the final line on Nick Zwack, who will leave this ball game with a no decision. Went 5 innings, 6 hits, 2 runs, both unearned, a walk, and 2 Ks. A very solid outing for Zwack as well.
Yeah, Zwack actually, you mentioned both runs unearned against him tonight, so that ERA is going to stay the same. Strong 5 innings, and that's Harwich's MO this year. Strong starting pitching has carried him this way.
So we can also close the line on Dawson McCarville on the Orleans side. He goes an inning and 2/3, 4 hits, 2 runs, both earned, 3 walks, and 3 Ks. So housekeeping taken care of at Eldridge Park, and Tommy Vale will face Eddie McCabe to lead off the last of the 6th. Southpaw rocks and fires first pitch. Fastball runs upstairs for ball 1. McCabe 0 for 2 tonight, struck out swinging his last time up. Vale gets the sign, wheels and deals 1-0. Fastball up in the zone, cut right through, and it's 1-1. Vale, a strikeout pitcher this past spring for the Fighting Irish. 61 Ks in 44 innings. The rising junior, originally from Seattle, Washington, 12.5 Ks per 9. 1-1, fastball runs high and tight. It's 2 balls and 1 strike. Now that's translated to the Cape Cod Baseball League so far. 9 Ks and 6 innings for the 6-foot hurler. Southpaw wheels and deals, the 2-1 home. Fastball low, it's 3 balls and 1 strike. Former number 1 left-handed pitcher out of the state of Washington by perfect game. 2-sport athlete in high school, also played on the golf course. 3-1, fastball up and away, ball 4. So a 5-pitch walk to Eddie McCabe to kick off the 6th, and the Birds will threaten to take the lead once again. So Tanner Murray, who was charged for an error that brought in the tying, well, almost brought in the go-ahead run of this ball game before Trevin Escara made a heads-up play to gun out the runner at home. He'll dig in for the 3rd time tonight. Murray's bat starting to heat up. Back-to-back nights with extra bases. McCabe aboard at first with nobody down. Will Murray square to bunt? First pitch, Murray swinging. A check swing couldn't hold up for strike 1. Firebirds and Mariners deadlocked at 2 here in the last of the 6th. Murray entered tonight hitting .228 on the summer. Vale set at the belt, checks on the runner at first, takes a deep breath, the 0-1. 12-6 curveball, drops in on the inside corner, and it's 0-2. So a chance for Orleans to grab the lead back. Harwich jumps out to a 1-0 advantage in the top of the 5th. The Bird answered with 2 in the home half before Harwich tied this game up with a run in the top half of this inning. 0-2 breaking ball bounces low. Rothenberg knocks it down, and it's 1-2. Murray has struck out in 5 consecutive ball games, trying to snap that stretch tonight. Birds' offense has been much more disciplined at the dish tonight. Just 2 Ks, averaging more than 10 per game. 1-2. 12-6 curveball chopped to the left side, right at the third baseman Cavadas. He'll take the short out across the diamond in time, but a productive out for the Birds as McCabe advances 90 feet to second. So Shea Whitcomb, the DH from UC San Diego, will try and knock home the go-ahead run. Whitcomb 0 for 1 this evening, drew a walk his last time up. And this was part of the Birds lineup that got Orleans rolling. Whitcomb led off that 5th inning with a free pass before the next 4 batters reached base. Lefty on righty matchup first pitch. Fastball up and away for ball 1. Whitcomb 3 for 8 this summer against the Mariners with 3 RBIs. Has found a way to feast off Harwich pitching. McCabe aboard at second with 1 away. 1-0. Fastball above the letters. It's 2 balls and no strikes. Whitcomb an all-CCAA first-team selection this past season for the Tritons. Stands at 6'2", 200 pounds even. Open stance from the right side, waving the black bat over the right shoulder. McCabe extending his lead at second, 2-0. Fastball down the chute. It's 2-1. Firebirds and Mariners deadlocked at 2 in the 3rd of 6 meetings this summer between the 2 East Division foes. Birds just 2 points ahead of the Mariners for 3rd place in the East. 2-1. Fastball at the knees of Whitcomb, called a strike. It's 2-2. David Avidia, the catcher from Grand Canyon, waits on deck for Orleans. Birds trying to give the hometown fans something to cheer for. 1,683 strong tonight at Eldridge Park. McCabe being held on at second by Fedco. He bounces off the bag. 2-2 coming home. Breaking ball check swing from Whitcomb. Just chops it towards the first base side. We'll do it again. So a chance for Orleans, who's 8th in the Cape in runs scored per contest. Birds average just 4 runs per game. Now the Mariners just 3.5. So we knew we were in store for a pitcher's duel, and we've got one at Eldridge Park. 2-2, fastball that Whitcomb's got a beat on, hits it back out of play, and we'll do it again. So McCabe aboard at second after a leadoff walk, advanced on the ground out by Tanner Murray. Whitcomb 7 RBI so far this summer for Orleans. Vale set. Checks on the runner at second. 2-2 coming. Fastball cut on and missed, strike 3. High heat from Tommy Vale blown right past Shea Whitcomb, and there's 2 away. So now the Birds' chances rest on the shoulders of David Avidia. Orleans trying to take back the lead after the Mariners delivered an RBI single in the top half of this inning. Avidia 0 for 2 tonight. Reached base, however, his last time up and came around to score. First pitch home. Breaking ball bounces low, skips past Rothenberg near the Mariners' dugout, runs behind the bat boy screen, and McCabe advances 90 feet on the wild pitch.
Yeah, just those lucky breaks happening for the Firebirds today. Obviously with 2 down, but McCabe's over at third base. Single will easily now drive him in.
So the go-ahead run 90 feet for Orleans, with the Birds and the Mariners tied at 2. Avidia hitless so far against Harwich this summer, 0 for his first 6. Rising junior out of Grand Canyon, originally from Phoenix, Arizona. He's batting $167 on the Cape. But he's been a very patient hitter at the dish. 6 walks this summer for the Birds, sporting a .280 on base percentage. Anytime you're 100 points higher with the OBP, you're doing something right. 1-0. Fastball cut on and missed, and it's 1-1. So Vale working out of the stretch with a runner on third. The southpaw out of Notre Dame trying to keep this game all knotted up. McCabe being held on by the third baseman Cavadas, who's hugging the line. Lefty on righty matchup, 1-1. A curveball drops in on the outside corner, and it's 1-2. Avidia 29 RBIs this past spring at Grand Canyon. Right-handed catcher chokes up on the bat. 1-2. Breaking ball skips past the catcher Rothenberg to the backstop. McCabe coming home. Throw to the plate will not come. Eddie McCabe darts home on the wild pitch, and the Birds are back in front. It's 3-2.
Well, there it is again, another lucky break. The catcher Rothenberg had a pretty good chance because there is padding behind the plate, but it took a nice rebound. Rothenberg sliding on the knee pads, just couldn't quite get the ball right in his hand, kind of fumbled it for a second.
So back-to-back wild pitches brings home Eddie McCabe, and the Birds are back in front. 2-2 to Avidia. Fastball rocketed over the head of Cavadas down the left field line for a base hit. Avidia takes the turnaround at first. He'll put on the brakes. Nonetheless, the Birds have the run that they needed, and Avidia a 2-out single.
Well, there it is once again, David Avidia, the guy that's been swinging a hotter bat at the dish for the Firebirds. Obviously, McCabe already scored, as we mentioned, but Avidia now aboard.
So now Zach Daniels, the right fielder from Tennessee. He'll dig in from the right side. First pitch home. Fastball above the helmet of Daniels for ball 1. Daniels a great catch earlier in this ball game in right field, but has been quiet with the bat. 0 for 2 tonight. Puts the black bat on the back, the 1-0. Fastball dots the outside corner, and it's 1-1.
And we've seen some spectacular plays out here from this Firebirds defense tonight.
Avidia aboard at first with 2 away in the last of the 6th. 1-1. Another breaking ball. This one bounces low. It's 2 balls and 1 strike. So, Thomas, we knew this game would be close between Orleans and Harwich. Every time they meet, it seems to be that way. And they've traded runs the last 2 innings. Avidia an aggressive lead at first base. Vale staring at him. He delivers home. 2-1, a fastball upstairs. It's 3 balls and 1 strike. So Daniels, who's just walked once this summer. He's walked once, struck out 23 times. He's playing in his 20th game in the Orleans Red. Vale set at the belt. Here's the 3-1. Fastball tapped back foul off the right shin of Michael Rothenberg, and the count runs full. So Avidia will get a head start off first base as Mickey Garcia, the home plate umpire, just walks this ball out to Tommy Vale to try and buy some time for Rothenberg. Catchers take quite the beating in a ball game. So the Firebirds on top of the Mariners, 3-2 with 2 away in the 6th. Lanzilli holding on Avidia at first. He'll be off with the pitch. Here's the payoff. Fastball cut on and missed, strike 3. Tommy Vale bounces back, fans Zach Daniels, but not before the Birds get back on top on a wild pitch. Orleans scores 1 run on 1 hit, no errors, and they leave 1 runner left on base. After 6 innings at Eldridge Park, the Firebirds are on top of the Mariners 3-2. And Scotty Gange has a very special guest. We like to think we're pretty good with PR, but this man might be better.
Yes. All right. I think we're pretty good at PR, but you are the almighty master of PR in the Cape Cod Baseball League. Ben Brink, you're the PR director of the Cape League. First off, thanks for hanging out. You having fun tonight?
I'm having a blast. Yeah, nowhere I'd rather be.
Okay. So right now there's a little guy watching you. You're a celebrity. That's pretty cool, huh?
I guess I am. Yeah. So I'll be signing autographs later.
Fantastic. That's after the game with the Birds. He'll be signing autographs. I know you guys are in charge of the @official CCBL, Instagram @official_CCBL, Twitter. That's a big load. How do you guys kind of keep that going and keep the engagement going throughout the entirety of this season?
Well, it starts with having a really good team we have some guys that are working in the public relations department that manage the social media. They know what they're doing. They're super smart, and just giving them the freedom to, do what they do best, I think is the best.
You constructed this team. Yeah, you constructed this team, and I know for you it's the outlook that you want to make the Cape Cod League look as best as possible. How do you do that?
Well, I think that for starters, it's just capturing the magic that happens at every single game and putting it online for people to see. So, the subject matter is right in front of us. So it's really just a matter of, getting a camera and getting the quote or the content, whatever it is that we want, and pushing it out. And it's pretty clear that when we do that, people really respond. So
before I let you go, before we get back to baseball, turn around and see all these people at Eldridge Park. When you see this, what comes to mind for you?
My first Cape League game was right on this hill when I was maybe 12 years old, and I got my first baseball cap, a Orleans Cardinals hat, at what used to be the merchandise plate, which is right there. So when I see that field, that's what I think of.
That's amazing. That's really, really cool. Ben Brink, thanks so much. Thomas and Josh, we'll send it to you. Appreciate the time. I really do.
Thank you.
And thank you, Scotty. Here in the top of the 7th inning from Eldridge Park, Firebirds lead the Harwich Mariners by a score of 3-2. Daniel Cabrera start things off. A 1-0 pitch puts one through the hole on the right side of the infield. He's over at first base. First pitch curveball doesn't dip down enough from Zebulon Vermillion. Almost comes in and hits Christian Fetko. Got a ball and no strikes. Christian's brother Kyler plays on UConn. Baseball team playing with the Bourne Braves right now. 1-0 pitch in the dirt, blocked by the catcher David Avidia. Count heads to 2-0. Fetko so far, a pair of walks and a strikeout. So far, Mariners 2 runs on 5 hits and 2 errors. Firebirds 3 runs, 7 hits, and 1 error. Cabrera over at first base. Vermillion from the stretch comes set. Jumped over to first base, and Cabrera's back in standing. Anytime you play an Eastern Division opponent, it's ever so important, especially the way the East is shaped up this year. A narrow race here. 2-0 from Vermillion. Fastball catches the lower part of the zone. Count 2 balls and a strike. And Harwich finally got over the hump. They defeated Chatham yesterday for the first time since 2017. They were 0-8 against them last year. Started 0-2 against them this year before they defeated them yesterday. 2-0 ball game in Harwich. 2-1 from Vermillion. Fastball catches the knees once again. Count 2 balls and 2 strikes as Fetko runs out of the batter's box quickly, not liking the call. So he bangs the wood bat on his spikes. as he's more towards the front end of the right-hander's batter's box. 2 balls and 2 strikes. The count, runner on first base. Nobody out here on the top of the 7th. Pitcher from Vermillion. 1 hopper over towards the shortstop. Murray flips on as Zamora at second. Throw over to first. Stretch from Mascara. He keeps the foot on the base. It's a double play. A 6-4-3 double play. And the Firebirds defense continues to hum here in the 7th. So now 2 down here in the top of the 7th inning, and Firebirds lead the Mariners 3-2 late in this ball game. Nico Cavanis, the big power hitting third baseman, will dig in from the left side to face the right-hander Zebulon Vermillion. First pitch coming, off speed in the dirt. Count 1-0. Cavanis, whose 11-game hitting streak is in jeopardy right now. 0 for 3 tonight, a line out, a ground out, and a strikeout. 1-0. Fastball wave and a miss for strike 1. Got a ball and a strike. Cavanis, who struck out in the 5th with the bases loaded. That was Dawson McCarville, showcasing a couple major league sliders. Navidia will wave his hand up to Vermillion. Want to go through the signs once again. 1 ball and 1 strike the count. Vermillion takes a deep breath. Dixon fires 1-1. Chopped over the Firebirds dugout as it bounces off the top and just in front of the railing. Coach Ibergoat comes out from the dugout. 1 ball and 2 strikes the count. On the third baseman from Notre Dame. The 1-2. Off speed just missing the outside of Black. Kelly Nicholson really wanting that call on the first base dugout. So he showcases a nod back to David Avidia, saying that's the spot. 2-2 once more to Cavanis. A high drive out and high there down the right field line. Zach Daniels on the run, looking up. And this ball is foul as it tails down into the right field corner, and some cheering fans down there.
Is it me, or there is a 35-person strong cheering section for Zach Daniels tonight?
I think there could be. I heard some, when Tanner Murray's up too, I heard it on the hill. There's like different echoing from all over the ballpark, which is unique to see. 2-2 to Cavanis. Curveball, this one spoiled off. Foul behind the dish. Count remains 2-2. I think we need a cheering section of our own out here.
For the broadcast team?
I think so.
Wow.
I mean,
that's quite the take.
I mean, just for half an inning. It doesn't have to be long.
Just for morale purposes.
2-2 from Vermillion. A high fly out towards straightaway center field. Hurtubise ranging over to his right. Camps under it in the left center. It makes the grab for the 3rd out. So after the leadoff single by Cabrera, it was a double play ball induced to Fetko. And then Cavanis flies out to end the 7th. The top of the 7th. 7th inning stretch from Eldridge Park. And I know this is Scotty's favorite part of the game. It's seeking Scotty.
Seeking Scotty. I am excited for this one. I hope you guys can't see me already, because tonight is a beautiful night, and it could not get...
I see you.
Oh, come on.
You didn't venture very far.
No, I didn't really go that far, just because I've been going all over the place today. Tonight is a special night because the fans out here are fantastic. So my riddle was going to be, hey, the fans are out, and I'm hanging out with them. But, yeah, I'm here on the hill.
Wait. How about
really
this?
Fun.
I've got a way to make this fun, I promise.
Okay.
Zebulon Vermillion, who's on the mound,
yeah,
he loves riddles.
Dude, yes.
You were trying to tell a riddle. You want to share one of Zeb's riddles from last night?
Okay, yeah. So the riddle was, yeah, that's a good one, Josh. And while I say this, Bryce, can you show the crowd here?
I'm not cool. Just good looking, Scotty. Come on. Also pretty intelligent.
Okay, so the riddle that Zeb was sharing with the team last night is a man walks into a bar. He says, "Can I have a glass of water?" The bartender shoots a gun up into the air, and the man says, "Thank you," and walks out. Why did the man thank him? So we're not going to give the answer. We're just going to, for all the parents and family members and those watching the Firebirds, you guys are going to have to just think about it or maybe Google it. But don't. Think about it and try to get the answer first.
Scotty, are we checking in with you
toss.
one more
There's
time
tonight? There's a T-shirt toss.
Wow.
Come on, man.
Toss those T-shirts.
Give me a T-shirt.
Scotty, we want to see you we want to see that absolute hose of yours and just toss one onto the hill.
They're already gone. The T-shirts are gone. Scotty didn't move quick enough.
Here in the bottom half of the 7th inning, first pitch off speed misses upstairs to Jacob Hurtubise. Count 1-0. Hurtubise so far 1 for 3. 1-0 fastball at the knees for strike 1. A count of ball and a strike. Hurtubise made that fantastic grab in right center field early in the ball game to take away a base hit. Trying to do with the bat here. 1-1 fastball up and in as Hurtubise bends out of the way. 2 balls and a strike. Again, bottom of the 7th inning here from Eldridge Park. Firebirds 2, Firebirds 3, Mariners 2. Tommy Vale back on the hill for the Mariners. As a 2-1 pitch clips the outside corner. Count 2 balls and 2 strikes. Vale so far 17 strikes, 14 balls, 31 pitches on the evening so far. 2-2 pitch away with a miss for strike 3 as Hurtubise goes down swinging on the fastball. You don't see Hurtubise strike out very often. Strikes out here to start off the 7th. So 1 down here as the Firebirds look to add a couple insurance runs late in this ball game. Josh Zamora, the second baseman from Nevada, walks the long way around from the first base dugout to the right side. Vale left-hander for the windup. First pitch almost hits the jersey part of Zamora. Count 1-0. Zamora diving all over the place. Jersey a little brownish now as the 1-0 pitch is chopped over, backhanded, stopped by Cavanis, stands up, throw to first base is in time. And Nico Cavanis blocks the ball down at third, gets up to the feet, and throws a bullet to first to retire Josh Zamora.
Now again, Cavanis, like a lot of players on the Cape, playing out of position. So he's a bigger boy, 6'2", 230 pounds, but able to knock that down, didn't lose his composure, and fired a dart to first.
First pitch to Max Trani, check swing, able to hold up on a fastball above the letters. It seems like the hot corner, really just the left side of the infield so far. We have seen some fantastic plays. Adam McCabe, Tanner Murray, 1-0 fastball runs low and out. Count 2-0. Even Dylan Noisy over at shortstop for the Mariners, and now Cavanis over at third. Nice backhanded play. 2-0 pitch to Tirani. Fastball runs up and out of the zone. Count heads to 3-0. So Tirani so far, who was a pair of singles, drove in a run in the 5th. 3-0 from Vale. Fastball once again misses up and out of the zone. For the 3rd time tonight, Tirani will reach base. You'll see that on-base percentage skyrocket in this ball game. So now, with 2 outs, Tirani over at first base here in the bottom of the 7th inning from Eldridge Park. It's the Firebirds 3, the Mariners 2. Trevin Esqueda, the first baseman, takes a practice swing before entering the right side. Tirani with lead over at first base. Left-hander Tommy Vale comes set from the belt. Kicks and deals. First pitch spiked to the dirt. Backhanded by Rothenberg. Throw to first base. Tirani dives back in safely as Lanzilli, the first baseman, blocked the ball. Couldn't pick it cleanly, but keeps it in front. Esquera taking a long look down to the third base side. Jamie Quinn over the third base bag. One-0 pitch. Fastball runs up and out of the zone. Count 2 balls and no strikes. Again, Tirani over at first base. Here at 2 down here in the bottom of the 7th. 3-2 Firebirds lead. 2-0 from Vale. A wave and a miss for strike 1. Another snap throw down to first as Tirani dives in feet first this time. 2 balls and 1 strike on Esquera. Firebirds trying to tack on a couple more insurance runs here. It was a scoreless ball game through 4 before Harsh put 1 in the 5th. And our Orleanians are back with 2 of their own and 1 in the 6th from each team. Vale a long look over to first at Tirani. Kicks and deals 2-1 as a check swing popped up in the air over the hill on the first base side. A mad scram for that ball on the top part of the hill. So count is 2 balls and 2 strikes on Esqueda. Steps out. And now step back into the right-hander's batter's box. Taps home plate. Adjusts his helmet. They'll try in the 7th here. The 2-2. Fastball up and out of the zone as Rothenberg thought about throwing down again. Tirani scampering back to the bag. So the count is full now at 3 balls and 2 strikes, 2 outs here in the home half of the 7th. 3-2 Firebirds lead. Tirani will be running on the pitch as he takes a couple steps off the first base bag. Fail comes set from the chest. The payoff pitch. Fastball outside corner, strike 3. And Esquera goes down looking to end things here in the 7th inning. Vail punches out 2. And after 7, it's the Firebirds 3 and the Mariners 2. We'll step aside. Listen to Firebirds baseball on the Birds Broadcast Network.
I like Legos ever since I was a little kid. So
was there like a tipping point, like a specific day where you were like, do you know what, Legos are sick?
I think it was just ever since once I figured out what I could do with the Legos, like building spaceships for my own mind, just putting them together and stuff like that.
And it still reigns true today?
Yeah, I do love them. I don't have any with me though.
Oh,
that's a sad
That's
part.
a long summer.
Yeah, I know. That's a long summer.
All right, I'll track you back. If there's one specific Lego Starship Battle Star, whatever thing that you made that you're most proud of, is there one you could pick out?
Yes, there's one that I made from scratch. Like I took some parts that were in the instructions and then added some new stuff that I wanted from my mind, my imagination, and I really liked it. It was a lot of fun doing it.
What did it look like?
It was like a spaceship, but it had like it was almost like a baseball for like the cruise ship, almost where the driver would sit.
Okay.
And it was orange. And it was like a little globe that he sat in.
Whoa.
For where like
you send that into like BMW or anything like that?
No, I didn't. I should have.
Yeah.
I should have.
I noticed you have lots of wristbands on.
Yeah.
What do those mean to you? If there's anyone specifically?
One of them just says strength, integrity, passion, which we got from Tennessee, just from having strength and integrity in Christ. And then just passion for whatever you're passionate about.
What are you passionate about?
Christ, baseball, and family.
It's pretty cool. Normally when I ask different players what they're passionate about, they go, Do you know what? Yes, and you were right away.
Yeah.
Christ, family, baseball. That's pretty awesome.
Yes.
Has it always been that way for you?
Yes. Yes.
That's really cool, man. Let's touch on baseball before I know we got a fun game today. What are you looking for out of yourself?
I'm just looking to improve every day. Improve
Welcome
every
back
day.
to Eldridge
having fun
Park
while
here
you're doing it, because if you don't have
in the top of the 8th inning, as Chase Wallace has entered into this ball game. Final line for Zebulon Vermillion. Goes inning in a third. Only allows 1 hit. Doesn't allow a run. Doesn't walk or strike out anybody. So Vermillion, a scoreless inning plus for Kelly Nicholson. As Chase Wallace will enter this ball game. 1-0 in the season, a 3.46 ERA, making his 8th appearance. 13 innings, 13 punch-outs, but also 9 walks. Last pitch back in YD on July 7th. Went 2 innings, 2 walks, and a punch-out. As a little bit delay on the field as some cars have their headlights on out in left and right field. First time this year we have seen that. We thought it would have happened a couple games so far this year, we mentioned on the broadcast. So still waiting here at Eldridge to start this 8th inning. Chase Wallace will throw an extra couple of warm-up pitches from the mound. So right field will be in the batter's eye to a right-hander, which it is in Dylan Noisy, the shortstop. So the car has the headlights still on out there in right field. So now the Orleans bullpen, I think, going to walk out there. A couple guys leaving the bullpen to go until the car, and finally the car has shut the headlights off.
So I've heard of people leaving the bullpen to get food, go to the bathroom. I don't think I've ever seen anyone go to shut the lights off.
Neither have I. Only in the Cape that stuff happens. Again, one of the very few things that happen in the Cape is that a game can get fogged out in Chatham. So Dylan Noisy steps into the right side. First pitch from Chase Wallace. Rocketed right at the second baseman, Josh Sabora. He literally did not have to move a step. So Chase Wallace retires Dylan Noisy. The first pitch here in the 8th. So 1 out. Getting near the top of the 8th. Firebirds 3, Mariners 2. Davison's Village alongside Josh White here on the Birds Broadcast Network. Mike Rothenberg, the switch hitting catcher, will bat from the left side against the right-hander Chase Wallace. Wallace with the windup. First pitch. Off-speed slicing down the left field line. It's going to drop foul. Rothenberg just trying to squeeze one down the left field line. It's interesting because I always think a switch hitter, obviously Danny Soretti was with the Firebirds this year, a switch hitter. You bat your first 3 plate appearances from the right side, now from the left. 0-1 pitch. A little of a gut check there as the fastball runs inside, and Rothenberg inches forward after the pitch goes by him. So ball and a strike here on the catcher from Duke. 0 for 3 so far, the 1-1. Fastball hit a scooper up the first base side, right to Esquera. Flips on to Chase Wallace, and Rothenberg is retired for the second out here in the 8th. So with 2 outs here in the top of the 8th inning. Firebirds clinging on to a 3-2 lead. It's Chris Lanzilli, the power-hitting first baseman out of Wake Forest. No home runs so far in a Mariners uniform, but hit 16 this past year for the Demon Deacons. First pitch fastball, check swing, misses above the letters for ball 1. Lanzilli so far walked to the second, struck out in the 5th, and lined out in the 6th. Hit a rocket of a shot right at the shortstop, Tanner Murray. 1-0 from Wallace. This one's fouled off at the dish, off David Avitia, as he limps out from the crouch. As Mickey Garcia will walk out to the hill and hand a ball to Chase Wallace to give Avitia some time as he walks to the rubber as well. So the cheering section continues on here at Eldridge Park. Got a ball and a strike here on Chris Lanzilli, the first baseman. Wallace kicks and deals the 1-1. Fastball right at the knees, picture-perfect possession. One ball and 2 strikes on Lanzilli. 2 outs here in the 8th. Nobody on for the Mariners as they trail by a run. The 1-2 pitch, off speed, cut on a miss for strike 3. And Chase Wallace strikes out Lanzilli to end things here in the top of the 8th inning. After 7.5, it's the Firebirds 3 and the Mariners 2. And we're going to send it back to Scotty Gange for some more.
Thank you. This is the Zach Daniels corner, right?
This is Zach Daniels corner. This is it over here. Fan club.
We're here with the fan club. Christine is the spokesperson for this fan club. Christine, you guys are from tell me again, what's it called?
We're from Cape Cod Sea Camps in Brewster, down the road.
All right, I've never seen so much energy at Eldridge Park than I've seen in this area right here. You guys win, you know that.
Oh yeah. We went for it. We came here. We committed, and we're ready.
What are you ready for?
We're ready for a win.
For who?
For the Orleans Firebirds, 100%.
You like Zach Daniels?
We do. We saw him. We just knew. We felt. We had a great feeling about him. We saw the energy from him, and we committed. He is our winner.
You're with all your friends here. We're getting on the Snapchat stories. How cool are all these guys?
These are all 10s, all around. All 10s. We've got counselors from all over the world. We've got Spain. We've got Ireland. We've got England. We've got
Honduras.
We've got Delaware, California.
We got to get a chant before we start this out. I know you guys were chanting for Zach Daniels. We got to hear something while we're on the broadcast.
Let's go Firebirds.
Stand by. Stand by. We might get a Let's Go Firebirds.
Let's go Firebirds. Let's
Hey, pretty cool, right? Guys, we'll send it back to you. We're here in the energy corner.
I absolutely love it down there in the right field corner, Scotty Gange. First pitch into McCabe is fouled off by the dish. Bounces off Route 28 for strike one here in the home half of the 8th inning. So it is officially the Zach Daniels fan club down there in the right field corner, but cheering for the Firebirds, of course. 0-1 to McCabe. Fastball just misses above the letters as Rothenberg, the catcher, tries to bring it back in the zone. Misses for ball one, kind of ball and a strike. So Tommy Vale back on the hill for Steve Englert and company, working on his 3rd inning. 1-1 fastball. Catches the zone. Count a ball and 2 strikes. Vale so far over 2 innings just allowed a hit, a run, 2 walks and 4 punch outs. 1-2 curveball. Misses the outside edge. Count evens up at 2-2. Get bottom of the 8th, nobody on, nobody out here. 3-2 Firebirds lead. Vale, 24 strikes, 24 balls, exactly even. 2-2. This one's roped out towards straightaway center field, but right at the center fielder, Marshak, who basically doesn't move at all. And McCabe is retired to start things off here in the 8th.
McCabe hit the ball well. Hit it hard, but to the wrong part of the ballpark at Aldridge Park. You hit a ball to dead center, you hope you get something around it. If not, it's going to get caught.
You hope maybe you caught enough, and if the wind's blowing out that day, maybe he'll catch the gust and carry out.
Well, we learned something new today from our good friend John Garner with WEEI in the Cape Cod Baseball League. We knew that Frank Thomas was the only one to hit one to dead center.
First pitch at Tanner Murray fell back to the screen for strike one.
But the legend continues. So Frank Thomas did not have a single home run during the 1988 regular season. He hit one in the postseason, and when I mean one, he hit 3 long balls in the same game against the Wareham Gatemen. 1 to left, 1 to center, and 1 to right. Now there's still more, Thomas.
0-1 to Murray. Curveball misses below the knees, kind of ball and a strike.
He did it with Bo Jackson's bat, called Black Betsy. So he hits a home run, not just to straightaway center, but did it with Bo Jackson's wood.
Bo Jackson, a fantastic athlete, as the 1-1 pitch misses upstairs. Count 2-1. Bo Jackson obviously played 2 sports at once. Football for the Oakland Raiders, or the LA Raiders, I believe, at the time. And then the Kansas City Royals. Was an all-star for the Royals. As a 2-1 pitch misses up and out of the zone. Count 3-1. Obviously, a lot of plays. You can look at Bo Jackson on YouTube, and they're just a plethora of videos. The one time in Kansas City where he ran basically sideways off the wall. 3-1 pitch. Fastball misses up and out of his own. Ball 4. Murray works a 1-out walk here in the 8th inning. He also started out the All-Star game with a solo home run. And I forgot which president it was, but one of the presidents was up in the broadcast booth. I believe Vince Floyd was calling the game for that All-Star game. I want to say it was Ronald Reagan, I believe, was in the booth during that game. So
wow,
cool thing. As now Steve Englert jogs out to the mound, calls the whole infield in on the Rebbers. There is looks like a southpaw warming in the Mariners bullpen.
I honestly don't think this is a visit for a pitching change. I think it's just a visit to give a scouting report on Raymond Gill, who's going to come in to pinch hit for the Birds. And again, Gill played in 9 games last summer for Harwich. He had a home run earlier in the year against the Mariners.
He's got 2 hits against the Mariners, a double and a home run. Both of them driving in runs for the Firebirds, not the Mariners, Tom. Val left-hander, the right-hander, Ray Gill. First pitch fastball, cut on a miss for strike 1. So Whitcomb was the hitter due up at the dish in the DH spot as Gill will now step in. So Murray works a 1-out walk. He's over at first here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Firebirds lead 3-2. Val looks over at first, kicks and deals. The 0-1 curveball cut on a miss as it's foul tipped into Rothenberg's mitt. Count 0-2. Gill with no batting gloves. A little open stance from the right side. Bell from the belt. 0-2. Fastball, check swing, Gill lays off as Rothenberg from the knees. Thinking about throwing down to first to check in on Tanner Murray, holds up.
I've got another story for you, Thomas.
We love stories.
The Hurricanes and the Fighting Irish normally don't play during the regular season. It happens every so often. They're in different divisions in the ACC.
1-2 to Gill, fastball. Leaves it upstairs, count 2 balls and 2 strikes.
But the last time Miami played at Notre Dame, it snowed.
Wow.
So the game was set for March, a 3-game series in South Bend. They only played 1 game. So kids from Florida saw snow for the first time.
2-2 to Gill. Curveball rolled over towards the shortstop, and Noisy has to go to first, his only play, and he retires Gill over at first base, but it moves Murray over to second base. Now, I have to say, on the ACC's part, I don't know what type of schedule that was if you're going to play in South Bend in March. It's like playing New England.
So that's the thing. It's a little poor planning, but given you think about teams across the country, Maine, Boston College, 2 teams in the Northeast that have baseball programs.
Yep.
You know where both of those teams start the first 15 games or so of their season?
Florida or California?
Yes, sir.
David Avita, the catcher, will start things off from the right side. First pitch fastball misses up and out of the zone for ball 1. Now, the coolest part about that is a team, 2 Northeast schools, Boston College, Northeastern. I believe Northeastern is the only school to do it. Now, Boston College doesn't anymore. But they play the Red Sox. They scrimmage the Red Sox at JetBlue Park down in Fort Myers. 1-0 pitch, Avita lays off. Misses low and out. Count 2-0. So, of course, we'll have to ask David Steele now from Northeastern if he has pitched in that ball game, because when I was at Harwich last year, Andrew Miziazik, the closer for the Mariners, was getting hyped up because going to senior season, he wanted to hit in that game, even though he's a pitcher. 2-0 pitch. At the knees for strike 1, count 2 balls and a strike.
Well, when the Firebirds played at Fenway Park in their exhibition against the Northeast Yankee Scout team, not this summer but last year, Aaron Oceanbine, a closer from Eastern Kentucky who got drafted in the 6th round, played right field for an inning.
It's cool stuff like that, I'm telling you. 2-1 Avita. High fly out towards left center field. Marshak going back just in front of the warning track. He'll make the catch out in left center field, but David Avita, he's been looking better at the dish. Maybe choking up the bat has worked for these Firebirds hitters after 8. It's the Firebirds 3 and the Mariners 2 will step aside. Listen to Firebirds baseball on the Birds Broadcast Network. Top of the 9th inning from Elletridge Park. It's the Firebirds 3 and the Mariners 2. Cale Nicholson will go to the bullpen once again. This time he calls on Connor Pellerin out of Tulane University. Making his 7th appearance, has yet to allow a run here on Cape Cod. 5 2/3, 12 punch-outs. Has given up 7 walks, but Pellerin, the guy with the devastating breaking ball. We always talk about the spin rate and the rotation on the baseball. And Kellen Nicholson, you can tell, loves to go to Pellerin. So for the Mariners, it'll be 8-9-1 due up Gallant, Marshak, and then Joel Weimer. So a lot of speed coming up for the Mariners, which makes you think if They can get a leadoff guy on. They'll try probably to bunt him over. Steven Egger loves to play small ball as well, especially with the speed of some of these Mariners hitters. And especially Chris Gallen, a guy who has really started hot here.
Okay, we didn't get the answer to the riddle, so I'm going to give it now. And the reason why I'm doing it now, Connor Pellerin was in on this action last night with Zebulon Vermillion. So a guy walks into a bar. He asks the bartender for a glass of water. Bartender shoots his gun up in the air. He says, "Thank you." The man had hiccups. Just wanted to leave anyone who was wondering the answer. The man had hiccups.
Now, I had heard of that one before. I just couldn't remember the answer.
A likely story.
First pitch of Chris Gallen comes up and in as he dances out of the way for ball 1. Pellerin, a guy that's fastball can get into the low 90s, mid-90s. 1-0 from Pellerin. Fastball upstairs once again. Count 2-0. So again, the Firebirds trying to win the first 3 games against the Mariners in this 6-game series and win back-to-back games after dropping 6 in a row. 2-0. A home run hack there by Chris Gallen. He really wanted that fastball.
If he had another one against the Birds in the 9th inning, that would have been ridiculous.
Especially the tie of the game. I think, I was on the right side of it the first time, but now being on the wrong, I know for you it's probably 10 times worse. That'd be 2 in a row. 2-1 pitch, a fastball. Cut on a miss once again. Count 2 balls and 2 strikes.
94 miles an hour on the gun from Pellerin. It's not just the spin rate with the curveball. This kid blows in the heat, and now Gallen just ran to the Harwich dugout to exchange the bat. So he might be getting a lighter bat with the velocity of Pellerin.
Coach Pascarosa over on the on-deck circle. Taking a couple giggles. Another thing you don't see very often, a guy in the middle of the AB.
Now, are you ready for this? You lighten the bat. If you're Connor Pellerin, I drop that nasty hook.
Well, looks like he maybe got new batting gloves or something. Maybe that was it. I think maybe his hand was slipping on the swing and misses.
That's what it was.
So maybe losing the grip, and that's why it looked worse than it actually was. 2-2 from Pellerin. Fastball just misses the lower part of the zone. Count runs full at 3-2.
Now, if you're Connor Pellerin, and he does struggle with command at times, and we've seen it this summer, you can't issue a walk to Chris Gallen. You can do it to practically anyone else in this lineup, just not Chris Gallen.
3-2 pitch, a high fly ball in there to shallow left field. Third baseman McCabe going back. And the shortstop, Tanner Murray, will make the grab just in fair territory. And Chris Gallen was all the way around second at base.
Of course
Pellerin
he was.
moved over to third just in case. That's just the speed that Chris Gallen has. But he's retired to start things off here in the 9th inning. And the Mariners are down their final 2 outs. Sit on Max Marshak, the center fielder. 1 for 2 tonight. Walked his last AB back in the 6th, singled in the 5th, and grounded out in the 3rd. First pitch, swinging. Cut on the miss for strike 1. Marshak taps his spikes with his wood bat. Again, just 3 for 26 so far. Marshak is here on Cape Cod. 0-1 pitch. Off-speed misses low and out. Kind of ball and a strike. So the Firebirds trying to close out a game here at Eldridge against the Mariners. Pellerin from the stretch, the 1-1. Fastball foul tipped into the mid of David Avina. Got a ball and 2 strikes.
All right, now in a 1-2 count, he's got something to play with. Here it is. Here's the curveball. You try and hit this.
We'll have to see what he goes to. The 1-2. Curveball inside corner, strike 3. Marshak couldn't believe it. He backed off the dish. It was a curveball that started at him and finishes on the inner half of the plate. And he goes down looking. Connor Pellerin, Josh, who called it, goes with the curveball and brushes Marshak off the plate. 2 down here in the 9th.
His spin rate is just practically untouchable. Again, 2,900 rotations per minute, which probably means nothing to the average baseball fan, but that's better than a average Major League curveball.
So 2 outs here. Joey Weimer, the DH, the leadoff man, takes a first pitch off speed at the knees for strike one, and he has all those rotations working for him right now. Again, 2 outs here in the top of the 9th inning. 3-2 Firebirds lead, nobody on for the Mariners. 0-1. Pitch misses low for ball one. Got a ball and a strike. One run from Pellerin is chopped over towards the Orleans dugout. A nice snag down there for one of the Firebirds players. Not sure who that was. Good snag. So now the Mariners are down to their final strike here at Eldridge Park at the top of the 9th inning. 1 ball, 2 strikes to count. Firebirds lead the Mariners by a score of 3-2. Nobody on for the Mariners. It's up to Weimer here to prolong this game. Open stance to the right side. Pellerin flaps the glove. Comes set. The 1-2. Fastball just running a bit off the dish. Got us 2 balls and 2 strikes. So Pellerin looked a little more trigger happy there. Fastball looked a little bit faster than a couple of the other ones. 2-2. Fastball just missing low once again. Count is now full at 3-2.
And again, this is what Connor Pellerin has been this summer. Strikeout or walk, it seems. 13 Ks, 7 walks, and a little more than 6 innings.
Looking out for the second strikeout here in this half inning. 3-2. Fastball cut on the miss for strike 3. And Connor Pellerin strikes out the last 2 hitters in this ball game. And the Mariners have fallen to the Birds here. The Birds are back in business as the Firebirds defeat the Harwich Mariners by a final score of 3-2 here at Eldridge Park. And well, Josh, the Birds had the bats and they had the pitching as well.
You know what they like to say? The Birds are back and the Birds are hot. Orleans makes it 2 in a row after dropping 6 consecutive ball games, and they continue this surge against the Harwich Mariners in 2019. The Birds have beaten the Mariners in 3 consecutive ball games, and you would think tonight would be a pitcher's duel, and it was. 2 of the best pitching teams on the Cape, and the Birds get it done. And it was just the middle innings of this ball game that provided all the offense. Harwich took an early 1-0 lead in the 5th. The Firebirds answered with 2 of their own in the home half. Harwich responded with 1 to tie it up in the top of the 6th before the Birds got the game-winning run in the home half of the 6th inning.
A game that just finished over 2.5 hours. And it was also not only just a good pitching and a good, offense. They got the runs when they needed them, but then the defense as well was definitely there. A lot of spectacular plays out there by the Firebirds. McCabe over at third, Murray at shortstop. Zamora over at second. Anybody on this team today really had the gloves working on the defensive side of things, as the Bird's Eye View postgame show will just be starting in just a few moments. We'll just take a look at the scoreboard around the Cape. Again, Katsua defeats Falmouth 6-1 at Lowell Park. Whitecaps come back and defeat the Red Sox 7-4. Bourne defeats Hyannis at Doran Park 4-2. And over in Chatham, the Gaiman defeat the Anglers 7-0. Game in Chatham, 2 hours and 16 minutes. That's one way to be efficient. So our sideline reporter, Scotty Gage, is in studio as he is set to go with Connor Pellerin. Scotty?
Thanks, Thomas. Connor, you just told me you're still sweaty. The heart's still bumping a little bit, huh?
Oh, definitely. That was. It's always fun coming in a closing situation, especially after a good game that our team played. There's nothing like it, so I had a lot of fun out there.
Here tonight with the closing pitcher, the Birds baller of the game, Connor Pellerin. You go out there, you get a 1-2-3 inning. You have a lot of time to be out in the bullpen and just wait for your chance to go in there. How do you keep yourself so focused and ready to go at your moment?
So we, in the 4th and the 6th, we usually kind of do like a little team stretch out there. But other than that, it's kind of just focusing on the game and watching what everybody else is doing and kind of staying in it until your number or your name's called. So it's a lot of fun down there, and it's always, you got to focus on staying focused over there. So
You pitch with a lot of intensity up on the mound, but I know right now you're kind of in the relief atmosphere. How does that feel?
Oh, it's definitely it's a great feeling after we can get a good team win after a couple games where we maybe weren't playing our best baseball, but to kind of get the thing rolling again is definitely a great feeling.
After the end of the year, after your last strikeout to close the game and win the game, you let out a big fist pump. What tell me about that?
It's just showing emotion out there. You have a lot of fun and getting to throw into against a good team with a lot of talent, and it's a good feeling. So
one win is a win, 2 wins is a streak. How does it feel to be streaking on the Firebirds?
It's a good feeling. Hopefully we can keep this thing going. So we just got to keep playing how we can play, and good things start happening. So
are the Birds hot?
Oh, ever so hot.
The Birds are ever so hot. Connor Pellerin, congratulations, man. Great outing. The Birds baller of the game. Thomas, will send it back to you, dude.
1 is a win, 2 is a streak. You heard it right there. And now we're joined by our second Birds baller of the game, Max Troiani. Max, the Birds get it done. What was the difference tonight?
First, thanks for having me. The difference was honestly our pitching. You put up 3 runs in a game, especially in the Cape, you're going to need pitching to get the dub, and Pellerin came in and absolute beast. He shut it down.
Another good offensive game for you. An RBI single. You picked up another single as well. That seems like that's all you do here on the Cape. Take me through your approach at the plate.
So we saw 2 lefties today. The approach at the plate, obviously, you're going to see the ball a little bit longer, but I'm actively trying to shorten my swing. So the approach is just see fastball and hit it. So I saw 2 of them. My first at bat, he threw me 3 changeups low. I didn't see him well. So, I thought he was going to come back with those, and he did in the second at bat, and I saw it down, which is big for me. And then just saw 2 fastballs up moving forward, and, happened to hit him in the outfield.
The defense seemed to be a little sharper tonight as well. Jacob Hurtubise, a fantastic catch in center. Zach Daniels, a great grab in right. What was the key to that?
They're just beasts. Hurtubise is one of the best base stealers I've ever seen. He just moves like no one I've ever seen, and then ZD's just an absolute animal. So it doesn't surprise me that those 2 made spectacular catches, and even the one where Hurtubise kicked it right to ZD, that was cool too. So.
You mentioned the pitching tonight. Jake Eder, his first start with the Birds, 4 shutdown innings, only surrendered one hit. What do you see from him on the mound?
It's just the Vandy way, man. Coming in, he's a national champion. He performed like it, so just happy for the kid moving forward.
Today, officially, the Birds gave all of their temporary players a permanent contract, you included. Congratulations.
Thank
How
you.
awesome does that feel to see that finally go through?
It's unreal, man. Just to be down here and to be playing on such a talented team. I'm learning so much and just grateful for the opportunity to be here.
It's 2 consecutive wins for the Firebirds. Anything else you want to say?
The Birds are hot, baby.
There it is from the outfielder from Bentley, Max Troiani. Congrats on the win, Max.
Thanks for having me.
So the Birds topple the Harwich Mariners 3-2 at Eldridge Park as the Firebirds post-game show continues. Let's send it over to Scotty Gange sitting alongside Thomas Cinzarella.
Hey, thanks, Josh. Let's break down this ball game, Thomas. Another night, another fantastic win for the Firebirds, and a bounce-back win, and one that took a lot of work. 3-2 victory. Off the bat, what stood out to you?
Really just an all-around performance. Fantastic, on the offensive side, fantastic pitching, and spectacular defense. Those are my 3 keys to what won the Firebirds this game today. It was an all-around effort. There are just a number of guys we could point out here. Defense plays by McCabe and Murray. Hurtubise out in center. The 2-strike approach for the Firebirds so far tonight looked really good, and they able to collect those hits together. And it seemed like whenever Harwich came back with a strike of their own, Firebirds came right back with theirs, and then Firebirds able to outlast the Mariners in this ball game.
It was a fantastic win for them, like you said. It was pitching, defense, batting, everything was there. Jacob Hurtubise made some great plays out in center field early. Kelly Nicholson had some fun talking with the Harwich managers and coaches during the game during that. But he was a guy that was on Harwich to start the year, and now he's on Orleans shining. How cool is that?
I think it's funny, and Steve Angert and Kelly Nicholson having a little fun at it. Kelly saying, I got him now, a little jab, especially the impact he's had, 4 stolen bases last night. Then tonight, a spectacular couch in right center field and chasing down some balls out in center field that, we saw one, I think, early in the ball game where he was almost shading towards the left center. And then he finishes right center. Did he just do that? And he's quick. He's like a gazelle out there, tracking down balls. It's fun to watch.
The thing is, he's so fast, so we're going to try to get him onto the post-game show here and try to get him on, but I don't know if I'll be able to catch him. So that's a maybe. I'm not going to promise everybody that we're going to get Jacob Hurtubise onto the post-game show.
Scotty, you're a runner, though. I mean, you
I run. I know. I'm going to try, but we are going to have Tyler Henry, the Harwich broadcaster. Before I let you go, pitching for Orleans, again, unsurprisingly, fantastic. How did Jake Eater do tonight?
Jake Eater was, fantastic. A guy that had his curveball working. Again, didn't allow he'd allowed base runs with 2 outs, but again, that's really going to limit the damage. He limited the damage, and it's also with 2 down in the inning, and you allow back-to-back innings with a walk. It's not the worst thing in the world. It works around it, and you look like a pro out there, and that's the type of Vanderbilt I guess Tim Corbin would be proud of, and the rest of the coaching staff down there. I mean, Vanderbilt's just pitchers you, and so we saw that tonight from Eater.
4 innings pitched, 1 hit allowed, no earned runs. Fantastic outing again for him and for everybody. We're going to try to go find Jacob Hurtubise. Thomas Cinzarella, thanks so much. Josh White, we're going to send it back to you to really break down this game, what it meant, what's looking forward for the Firebirds. We'll send it back to you. I'm going to go grab Jacob Hurtubise if I can catch him and bring him right here. So, Josh, we'll send it back to you and take a short break here on the Bird's Eye View post-game show.
That's a lot of responsibility, but I think I can handle it. So the Firebirds topple the Harwich Mariners for the 3rd time this summer. Let's give you the totals for tonight at Eldridge Park. Harwich scores 2 runs on 6 hits. They make 2 errors and leave 8 runners left on base. The Orleans Firebirds score 3 runs on 7 hits, 1 error, and 8 runners left on base. The winning pitcher tonight is Zebulon Vermillion. The right-hander from Arkansas picks up the dub. On the short end for Harwich is Tommy Vale, and his first save on the Cape Cod Baseball League goes to the righty from Tulane, Connor Pellerin, in a game that took 2 hours and 35 minutes at Eldridge Park, seen by 1,683 people in attendance. And this ball game started off as a pitcher's duel as expected. The Harwich Mariners entered tonight as the best pitching team on the Cape and the team that struggles the most with the bats. And what a start by Nick Swack on the mound. 5 innings without allowing an earned run, but the Birds got to the southpaw in that 5th inning, scoring 2 runs in the last of the 5th after the Mariners tacked on a run in the top half. Then Harwich tied it up in the top of the 6th before the Firebirds took the lead on a wild pitch. Eddie McCabe came home to score. And they got some help today from their defense as well. And with the defensive web gem himself, Jacob Hurtubise is sitting next to Scotty Gange.
Josh White just mentioned you as the defensive web gem himself. How is that?
I mean, just going out there trying to make plays for my pitcher, making sure that he's doing as few pitches as possible. So that's my job, catch everything when I'm out there in center field.
You're a competitive guy, Jacob, and you played against the guys that you played with for the first 2 weeks, and you make plays like that. Are you going to let them know, or are you going to kind of rub it in their face that you made a diving catch, or is that something you're going to keep to yourself?
I was kind of giving them a little bit of crap all game. I would run past a couple of the players, and they'd be like, Bees, come on, you got to help us out. I was like, nah, with the new team now, I got to help out Orleans.
Kelly Nicholson, after you made the diving catch in right center field, spectacular play, by the way, he yelled over to Steve Angler and said, that's two, we got him. How cool is that for you?
That's awesome. I love the competitive rivalry between both teams, and being able to have a little piece of both teams was really cool tonight. Saying hi to all the guys. I'm sure I'll see them again later in the season. So.
This is the Jacob Hurtubise 360. We talked to you before the game, and now we're talking to you after the game. Before the game, you said you were just so ready to go. You were excited to get the competitive atmosphere in there and get to play against these guys. Are you kind of in a sense of relief right now? You're relaxed. You played a great game. You feels good?
Yeah, especially after a win. I know I would have heard it if we had lost, but now I get to kind of rub it in their faces just a little bit. Long season, so long way to go.
A long way to go indeed, but if you can pinpoint one thing tonight that you're going to remember for the rest of the summer, what would it be?
Oh, just playing out here and having fun every day. It doesn't get much better than this, playing in front of so many fans. One of the things that I remember was hearing all the screams when I made that catch. It was pretty cool. I played in front of a couple crowds, but these guys really get into the game, so just having a lot of fun out here.
Hey, we're having a lot of fun watching you play. Fantastic job tonight. You said it doesn't get much better than this. Well, it doesn't get much better than that catch out there. Jacob Hurtubise, what a stud, man. Congratulations on the day. If they're still here, go and rub it in their face tomorrow, all right? Sound good?
Thank you.
All right, Jacob Hurtubise. Josh, we'll send it back to you. We're going to get Tyler Henry on to close out officially the Bird's Eye View postgame show.
Thank you, Scotty and Jacob. And what a day it was for this Birds defense. Some tremendous catches in the outfield. Hurtubise, a web gem to end an inning early on. Zach Daniels, a base hit robbing catch in the first as well. Some flashing of leather on the infield by Eddie McCabe and Tanner Murray. And the Birds pick up win number 13 on the summer. Orleans 13-10-2. Harwich falls to 12-4. And the Birds continue their climb back up the East Division. After the Birds dropped 6 games in a row, Orleans has won back-to-back contests. And now the Firebirds find themselves in 3rd place in the East, just 1 point back of the Whitey Red Sox for second. The Chatham Anglers still lead the way in the East Division at 31 points. And now our friend Scotty Gange has made his way over again. And here he goes with the Harwich play-by-play man, Tyler Henry.
Yep, thanks, Josh. Much more than just the Harwich play-by-play man. This is the Tyler Henry, right?
Boy, something like that, yeah.
It's good to be in here with me, huh?
Yeah, oh, absolutely. No, it's great to be on the show. Great to be back, so yeah.
All right, Tyler, you've been on the Bird's Eye View postgame show before, and kind of the same story last time. I asked Orleans won. They'd played fantastic. I want to hear from Harwich side. What did you see in terms of the way Harwich played tonight?
Sure. So, I mean, it was another game where Harwich was able to take a lead early on and eventually kind of watch it erode away, but that hasn't been characteristic of the way they've been playing recently. That was a big concern for the Mariners going into that kind of week 3, week 4 era where this was happening week in and week out. This is the first time in a while that Harwich has lost a game in this fashion. So, the offense still has to come up, and they got to have some more clutch hitting. It seems like that's kind of been something that can be improved upon. But for the time being, I was really impressed with what I saw. Once again, Nick Swak came out and threw a heck of a ball game. Once again, he's going to get a no decision in a game where he pitched well. He's 0-2 on the year despite having an ERA well under 4. So it seems like he can't catch a break. But, yeah, Harwich drops another tough one to Orleans, and another victory goes to you guys here in the East.
Hey, whether you like it or not, the story of tonight is Jacob Hurtubise. Do you miss him?
I miss him so much. I mean, don't get me wrong. Our outfield is loaded, and there really wasn't a room for him, especially with Chris Gallen and Joey Weimer, 2 temp guys that had come in, and they had played their hearts out. I mean, they had been working day in, day out. They had 2 of the best batting averages on the team at one point, and Hurtubise was on a temp contract as well, so we had to cut him. But it's just kind of funny to me that the day after he's gone, here he is leading off for the Orleans Firebirds.
Balling out.
Oh, yeah, and my immediate thought, I looked at my broadcast partner when I saw that he was going to Orleans, and I said, they don't need that. They're doing just fine without him. So, he took a couple of plays away out in the outfield that could very well have turned into runs for the Mariners, but instead they're going to come away with a 3-2 victory or 3-2 loss.
So here's the thing. The Eastern Division is so close. From 1 to 5, really. And we know Chatham has some separation, but 5 days ago that separation belonged to the Orleans Firebirds. So things are just changing up and down. How important is a win in the East Division against an Eastern Division foe really every night?
I mean, it's huge, and it's going to get bigger and bigger. Every single one of these games becomes more important as the season goes on. That's the thing everybody has to realize. For Harwich, they've worked their hearts off, and they get themselves into a position where the victory tonight, they could have been even with the Orleans Firebirds and potentially 3 games ahead of the Brewster Whitecaps. Instead, they're going to fall back behind the rest of the East, and they're going to drop down to last place again. So this is going to be a question that you're going to get to ask every single person for the rest of the year, but especially here in about 2 or 3 weeks when we're wrapping up the season. I mean, I get the feeling the last team out of the East will be knocked out in the last 2 days.
It seems like that way, and I know Orleans is the team right in the middle of the pack. They're bouncing between 1st to 5th, as everybody really is. It's always topsy-turvy. Tomorrow, if somebody asks you about Orleans, what type of team is Orleans? You've seen them play a number of times this season. What would you say?
It seems scrappy. I know how weird that sounds to say for a team that is ripped off, 6 straight wins at one point, but this is a team that never really feels down or out of a game. You've got a ton of speed on this roster, great pitching 1 through 9, and at the end of the day, everybody in the lineup can come out and get a timely hit when it matters. So that's kind of what we saw on display today. I mean, it was just a matter of getting a couple of guys on base and putting somebody like Max Troiani in a good position to get the winning hit and end up getting the decisive victory.
A fantastic win again for the Orleans Firebirds. Josh White said it before the game. 1 win is a win, 2 wins is a streak. The Firebirds are on a streak, and the Birds are officially hot, right?
Yeah, the Birds are hot.
The Birds are hot. That's going to close out the Bird's Eye View postgame show. For Tyler Henry, thank you so much for joining on. Our broadcasters, Thomas Cinzarella and Josh White, our producer, Bryce Johnson, and everybody here in the Birds Broadcast Network. We thank you for joining us, and we will see you tomorrow.